Where do I find it? In a kiss? In a caress? In the pain of flagellation? Wrong, Shirley, wrong. Agony, agony, the agony of flagellation. Hello.
Just checking in on my favorite star before turning out the lights.
Oh, Bert, thank heaven it's you.
You sound a little bit unstrung. You haven't been getting any more crank calls, have you?
No, not tonight. I guess I'm just a little on edge.
Very comfortable with the memorizing?
Yeah, almost. The concentration seems to be coming back.
You see, I knew it would. The last thing you did before,
Go on, Bert, say it before the fall.
Well, you know, the movies where you only have to memorize one line before lunch. The stage separates the models from the magicians, my darling. And you are pure magic up on that stage.
I love you. Keep talking.
Lou just called.
Yeah.
The theater is sold out for the entire run here. And New York will be the same.
I wish I'd had you around for the last 3 years.
Why don't you beat Agnes at some cribbage and take a hot bath, and I'll see you at 10.
I'm just going to have to settle for solitaire. Agnes is off tonight.
What do you mean?
Well, she's not exactly a babysitter, Bert.
Well, I didn't want you to be alone these last few nights, Cheryl.
Well, don't you worry. That wretched fox Agnes has put a pencil line at the booze level of every bottle in the house. Huh. It's funny, I thought I closed that.
What's the matter?
Well, I guess the wind just blew open one of the doors downstairs. Let me check, Bert, huh? Hello? Who's there? Hello? Who is that? Bert? I think there's someone in the house.
Are you sure, Shirley? It could be Agnes.
No, nobody answered.
All right. Shirley, you stay there. I'm going to have Carla get on this line. I'm going to get on the other line and call the police. We'll be right over.
All right. But, Bert, please, hurry.
Shirley, honey, this is Carla.
Are you all right?
Operator,
Shirley?
I want the police. This is an emergency.
Shirley? Shirley? Oh, please answer.
Look, just take whatever you want and leave. I've called the police. I've called the police. They'll be here any minute.
Shirley?
I've called the police. They're coming. Get out of the house. Please just get out. Get out. Ah!
Oh, don't.
Shirley! Shirley! Cheryl.
Oh, Bert. Oh, thank God.
Oh, baby. It's all right. It's all right.
I spoke to Lieutenant Biddle. The police feel it was a prowler. There have been a number of those around here lately.
They're sure that it was a prowler?
Well, they thought it might have been something more serious at first, but then when Miss Evans said it was she that grabbed the scissors, the lieutenant probably figured it was just a prowler who decided to try his luck elsewhere.
Well, I hope so, Mr. Jones. I dearly hope so. I hope that hiring you was a complete waste of money.
Happens that way sometimes.
Well, but I don't think so. I've got the biggest show of this decade and the biggest talent of this century opening in 3 days. I hear trouble in the wings. I think somebody is trying to sandbag my star.
Who?
That's what I'm hoping you'll find out.
Well, my next question is why?
Why?
Why would anybody want to keep Shirley Evans from making a comeback?
Lunacy. The world is brimming with it. Some nut probably wants to keep her from appearing again.
She kind of dimmed out fast in the last 3 or 4 years, didn't she?
Sure, she dimmed out. She lost both her parents by the time she was 21 years old. She had 2 frightful marriages in 5 years. She was left with a daughter she hardly ever got a chance to see. She took pills to keep going, took pills to calm down. She started drinking booze to make everything look pastel and pretty. And then I think that accident in New York finally tore it.
Something about an unhappy ending to a Broadway party, wasn't there?
Car she was in hit and killed another young woman. Jail? Felonious driving charges? Suspended sentence.
And there went her career.
All she needed was a transfusion of confidence and a great script and music. She rose like a phoenix.
Delicate bird, the phoenix. You think somebody declared open season?
How's she doing?
Anything but a delicate bird this morning, Mr. Parrish.
Mr. Jones, this is Ed Davis, our publicist.
How do you do?
Mr. Jones? If they make it a routine prowler report, I doubt the press will even pick up on it.
Well, I certainly hope not. Eddie, Mr. Jones is a private investigator. So now that you know that, forget I told you, okay?
Well, you didn't even have to say anything, Mr. Parrish.
You're blooming.
Orange juice. It's a neutered screwdriver.
You're a good nurse, Agnes.
Nurse, I ain't. I'm everything else around here, but a nurse, I ain't.
She's a warden.
No such thing.
Shirley, this is Barnaby Jones. Remember I told you about him?
How do you do, Mr. Jones?
How do you do?
Bert, you really are too much. I mean, a private dressing room I expect, but a private investigator.
Well, Miss Evans, just think of me as a fan looking for somebody who may not be.
Okay. But really, I think probably it was just somebody who was after the silver or the color TV.
Neither of which were taken.
Well, I should hope not. I mean, if he was half as scared as I was, he's probably 10 pounds lighter and halfway to China by now. Why don't you sit down?
Thank you. You say he. Did you see him?
No, not really. As I told the police, it was like a shadow. It all happened so fast. Police seem to think maybe it was a teenage prowler.
Police don't know about the phone calls, Cheryl.
Mr. Parrish told me about your threatening phone calls. Nobody says anything, they just play a recording.
Well, it was a bad enough line when I had to say it in the film, but when somebody plays it back to you on the phone, it gets pretty scary.
This was a recording of your voice?
Did you ever watch the late movies, Mr. Jones?
Constantly.
Do you remember you've destroyed everything of value, you don't deserve to live?
Has a familiar ring. Miss Evans, how many people have your phone number out here?
She has unlisted numbers on both lines, but everybody in the company and the press, they all have them by now.
Well, that narrows it down considerably. Miss Evans, from now on, I want somebody to be with you at all times.
Are you kidding, with this entourage? Come on, let's get that piano player to work, huh?
Oh, why don't you take it easy and rest today? I'll have Jill go through it with the cast.
Oh, sure. And then on opening night, you can go out and tell the audience that Shirley Evans just doesn't have the Heather Bloom number right yet. But you just happen to have her understudy, Jill Mallory, who will perform it for you.
All right. All right.
Why don't you two run along, and I'll stay around here and poke around a little, if you don't mind.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Jones, you get to keep all the fingerprints you can find.
Thank you.
Shirley? Shirley? I gotta talk to you.
Well, she doesn't want to talk to you. Got it,
Shirley.
Kilgore.
Shirley.
Get in the car, Shirley.
Stop ordering her around.
Well, I'll order you around. Now, leave her alone. She doesn't need you anymore. Drown yourself in a bottle if that's your style, but stay away from her. Get in the car, Shirley.
From your look, I'd say you could tell me what that was all about.
Well, that's the trash my baby wound up with when she stopped listening to me.
Lloyd Kilgore. There used to be a famous running back by that name.
That's him. Old Mr. Used to be. Big Super Bowl star. He hurt his back, but always gonna be a big this or that. The only big thing he'll ever be is a big drunk.
And that's who Miss Evans has been keeping company with the last 2 or 3 years?
Shirley's bright on all sides but one, the man side. Those 2 louses she married just wanted her for a name.
She had a baby, a little girl.
No, has is what I've been reminding her. If she's gonna start acting again, she might as well include acting like a mother. Keeping that little girl in that boarding school, it just isn't right.
Agnes, you're sounding like you're not too happy about Miss Evans going back on the stage.
I know it's just gonna happen all over again. I know it. She just isn't ready. If I had my way, she'd never go near that theater.
Oh, Heather Bloom, you've come a long, long way from Bloomington, Indiana, and lessons on the piano. A little finesse, a little finagle. You're ordering toast instead of a bagel. Ah, yes, you dropped the name of Rose and a little bit off the nose. And the accent hardly shows. You're the picture of a shiksa. You're going places, Heather, so packed. Blast!
No, it's all right, Cheryl. It's coming beautifully.
I'm sorry, Bert, I'm sorry. I just get my mouth working and my feet stop.
Take 10. Talk to your feet.
All right.
When it's gone, it's gone.
Better not let her hear you say that, Jill.
I'm better than she is.
I won't quote you, but it's only a short step from understudy to unemployment.
If she really knew who you are, you'd be fired in a minute. Well, I've done my homework. I know where all the bodies are buried. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Lloyd,
Honey, I gotta talk to you.
Lloyd, I told you it's all over.
Please, I need you.
Stop it. Stop saying that.
Look, it's gonna be different. You and I will go into business together.
Lloyd, please, no more drunk dreams. I made a mistake. Leave me alone, please.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I thought I told you to stay away from her.
Just get your hands off me, creep. Hey, burn! Not that easy, baby. Not that easy.
I take it that's not part of the rehearsal.
An opening night, he could be a disaster. I sure hope Mr. Parrish hasn't picked himself a falling star.
Get your 5 out. 8 ball off the cushion in the side pocket.
Not quite as good as a share of the Super Bowl, is it?
I know you from somewhere.
Sure. I'm the fellow you stiff-armed when you made your end run over at the theater.
Sue me.
Well, I don't want to sue you, Mr. Kilgore, but I would like to level with you.
It's a level.
Somebody's been trying to make a lot of trouble from Miss Evans lately. I've been hired to find out who and to put a stop to it. Now, I have found that sometimes when you come right out and say it, trouble stops. And I collect my money just as you do when you sink the 8 ball.
I don't know what you're talking about. Give me double, Wendell. You still here?
Yep. Do you have any special reason for not wanting to see Miss Evans on that stage opening night?
It's her funeral, not mine. Just trying to make a fool out of her, don't you know that?
Why do you say that?
She's no condition to get on the stage. She's like me, a washed up drunk. They get her up there, make a fool out of her, and then what? Huh? What? We were fine, just fine. Wanted to leave us alone.
Just for the record, do you recall where you were at 10:30 last night?
Yeah, it's here, having a few. No, at Cody's.
That doesn't check out, Mr. Kilgore. Over at Cody's, they say you left by 10 o'clock.
You're so smart, you figure it out. I don't know, just leave me alone.
Yeah, sure. Like they say, never hustle a hustler.
Well?
Look, we both know what's right, right? I mean, I can't say anything without seeming selfish, you know?
I'm sorry, Bert. Lloyd was just acting like an adolescent.
I don't care about him. I care about you.
But don't you fear. All I want is a little meditation with my feet. And they'll be back in working order tomorrow. I promise.
Who needs a promise? Could I ever be accused of coming between you and a communion with your feet?
I love you.
I love you. You meditate, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Hi, Agnes.
Mr. Parrish, I thought you were supposed to stop by the school to see Kathy this afternoon.
I completely forgot.
Well, don't whip yourself in front of me, lady. I'm the one who has to tell Kathy all those lies when she calls.
Agnes, I'm exhausted.
Your daughter's tired, too. Tired of being a number in a uniform in that boarding school.
Stop it! I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to get it all together for all of us. All right?
You tell me if it's all right. Well, what good is it all going to be if it's going to start all over again? Oh, no. The world needs a star, is that it? Well, Kathy needs a mother, and it don't look like she's going to get one, come good times or bad.
Just look who's talking. I never once heard you complaining about the good times. The bright lights never hurt your eyes, or the parties, or the trips. I never once heard you complaining about traveling first class. You are a hypocrite, Agnes. And if it weren't for me, you'd still be washing some floors in an office building.
You go to hell.
Agnes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
I'll pick up my things later.
certainly doesn't look as though she had a drinking problem here. My, she was a beautiful woman.
Still is.
Oh?
When you say, oh, like that, I don't even have to look at you to know you're wearing that great big Cheshire cat grin.
Really? Whenever I see you scratching around on your desk like a chicken, I have a feeling that what you're looking for is probably right under your nose. Some detective.
I knew it was there all the time. I just wanted to make you feel indispensable.
Mm-hmm. Tired and indispensable.
Yeah, here it is. The young woman who was killed by Miss Evans' car was Miss Phyllis Sherman. Betty, check the New York papers and see if you can come up with an obituary. There's a date.
I'll do that tomorrow morning. Has she any idea who's been making these calls?
No. She says it's a recording. Of course, anyone could have taken that off of a television rerun of one of her pictures. I got this from a TV station.
You've destroyed everything of value. You don't deserve to live.
Oh, dear.
Could be a crank call, but I don't like it, Betty. She's got an unlisted number, but that doesn't mean it's secret. I promised Mr. Parrish I'd give her a call tonight.
Please. Please, just leave me alone. Whoever you are, stop calling. Please.
Miss Evans, listen now. This is Barnaby Jones.
Oh.
Have you been getting calls from that voice again?
Yes. Twice. A half hour ago. I tried to call Bert. I'm afraid.
Let me talk to Agnes.
Agnes isn't here. We had a fight. She's gone.
Miss Evans, what is it?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
What's the matter?
There's someone here again. I gotta get out.
Betty, call the police on the other phone. Tell them to get over there right away. Miss Evans.
Leave me alone. No.
No!
My apologies, Miss Evans. For discounting the call the other night as just another prowler. It must have been Kilgore. He didn't get away so lucky this time. Looks like he fell, hit his head.
Oh, no.
Don't, Cheryl.
Why did it have to be him?
Who knows?
Accident, Lieutenant?
Almost by the book, Barnaby. The jilted boyfriend comes back to harass the girlfriend. Only in this case, he probably stumbled back. We've got a drunk sheet on Kilgore that long.
Well, if he was running away, he sure took a wrong direction. Why did he start with the pool area?
Drunks and directions don't mix very well. Did you ever see one driving down the freeway the wrong way? Just as fatal.
Yeah, I suppose.
You find out any different, be sure to let me know, huh?
Sure will, Lieutenant.
Miss Evans, I don't think you'll be troubled by prowlers any longer. We can get a full statement on this later.
Certainly. thank you, Lieutenant.
Talk to you, Barnaby.
Miss Evans, when you were being chased and running and trying to find your way out of the house, did you see that it was Kilgore?
No. If I'd known, I wouldn't have run from him. I'm not afraid of Lloyd. I feel sorry for him. Eddie, could I have something to drink, please?
I'll get you some water, Miss Evans.
Mr. Parrish. I'm not sure that this explains the phone calls.
Why do you say that? Kilgore could easily
I
have got...
don't think so. Kilgore was a muscular, overt type of man, kind of would barge in. I can't see him fiddling with tape recorders or scary phone calls.
Well, I suppose your judgment is right. I'll have to get the phone numbers changed, I guess.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes?
I think I better run down to the press room. See if I can detour the story from the newspapers, at least soften the facts a little, you know.
That's a good idea, Eddie. Thanks for coming over so soon.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis on call 24 hours a day?
Excuse me?
He got here awfully fast.
Well, I think he said he had to come over here anyway to pick up some pictures or something.
I was having a phone conversation with Miss Evans when it happened. She said that she'd had a quarrel with Agnes.
Cheryl and Agnes have been going at it for years. They were arguing about Cheryl's daughter, she said.
His daughter live around here?
In Candlewood. It's a private school out in the hills.
Why can't she see me? She promised.
Oh, Kathy, when you get older, you will have to realize that promise means try.
You're older. You come when you promise.
Go ahead, Agnes. Explain that one.
Hello, Pet. How are you?
Maybe if I were a pet, you'd keep me around the house.
Hush now.
Kathy, I'm doing this for both of us. You have to understand that.
I do. You're in a place you can afford to keep me. But you can't keep me because you're in a play.
I'm working. I'm gone all day.
That's nothing. I'm gone all year. What do you care?
I do care, Kathy.
At least when you were drunk, you used to come and see me. I liked you better when you were drunk.
Don't talk to your mother like that.
What mother? You don't care. All you care about is yourself and your theater.
Kathy? Please.
Oh, let her go. Little hurts like that hurt big when they're that age.
Agnes, what am I supposed to do?
I heard about last night, and I'm sorry that I wasn't there. Really sorry.
Why should you be any different? Nobody's ever there when I need them. What do people want from me, anyhow?
Ah, yes, you've dropped the name of Rose, just a little bit off the nose, and the accent hardly shows. You're the picture of the ship, sir. You're going places heather so packed. Oh, Heather Bloom, you've come a long, long way from Bloomington, Indiana. Pity you, what'll you do if you ever have to go back?
Take 10. Steve, your stir cross is over too far.
You like?
That was good.
Wrong. It was perfect.
Maybe I better introduce myself.
Barnaby Jones. An understudy has to know everything that goes on stage and backstage.
Then you probably know what happened to Miss Evans offstage.
Yes. I'm terribly sorry.
You're a very good actress.
What do you mean?
Well, I might be sitting here thinking that you really were sorry if I hadn't seen you with Mr. Kilgore in that bar yesterday.
So?
So,
What business were you discussing with Mr. Kilgore?
No business.
No business is like show business. I think I got that right.
Right, so what? I did it for the good of everyone. She isn't ready. She'll ruin everything and everybody. Mr. Parrish is so obsessed with the idea of resurrecting that old lush, he'd never listen. So I tried to get Lloyd Kilgore to talk some sense to her. That's all.
Well, if he tried, he died trying.
Sorry, I can't help that.
And any plans you may have had with Mr. Kilgore died with him?
What's that supposed to mean?
Shirley Evans is a star to the core. She has recovered from shocks worse than this. She'll be on stage opening night.
I wouldn't count on it. Shirley Evans is also a lush to the core. She's an inch away from popping the cork and going under. Again.
Shirley, I'm home, honey. Honey, you in here?
Barnaby Jones.
You said to call if there's any trouble.
Well, yes, Agnes, what's the matter?
She's been here and gone, and she's at the bottle again. She's drinking again.
Well, you stay right there, Agnes. I think I may be able to find her.
Well, it's partly my fault. Find her, please. Please find her.
Yeah, I'll try.
Oh, sorry. Are you in a rush?
Yeah.
Right here, take a look at this. For you. It's the obituary notice of the girl in New York.
Survived by her father, Edward R. Davis of Los Angeles. Good work, Betty. Check him out.
Oh, well, where are you off to?
Our lamb has strayed. I gotta catch her before she goes off the deep end.
One more. One for the money and two for the show.
That one for the money's all right, but it's a two for the show to get you.
Hey, Barnaby. I don't have to drink alone after all.
You don't have to drink at all.
Agnes told you, A wretched old fox.
Agnes is worried about you.
Go on back and tell her not to worry.
Well, why don't you come back with me and then you could tell her?
No. My little Kathy was right. Shouldn't I have a little girl?
Yeah, I know. I don't think she'd like what you're doing.
Oh, yes, she would. Kathy and Lloyd were both right. This is where I belong, right here. Everybody going their own way, minding their own business. Just gonna sit right here, blend in with everybody. It's an extra, that's it. Walk on, that's the role I want to play.
You're not everybody, Miss Evans. You're something special. That's the reason people make the demands on you that they do. They're hungry for something that you can be, something special. It's not that they're selfish, but they need you. Never mind about them. Think about you. Doing the thing you were born to do and knowing that you're doing it better than anybody else. Not one person in 100 million makes it to the top of the mountain. It's a pretty view from up there. Much better than the view from the bottom of a bottle.
I want to do it. So bad. I want to do it.
Well, this is all that's keeping you from it. Come on, I'll help you. we can wade all the way home, still shallow.
Mr. Parrish said you wanted to see me?
Yes. I was just looking at the pool. Strange, isn't it?
Strange? What's strange?
How something built for pleasure can become a death trap.
Well, I hadn't thought of it that way. Accidents happen.
I was thinking about another accident happened in New York 5 years ago when your daughter was run down and killed by a car being driven by Miss Evans. You think that just happened, or Miss Evans was responsible and should have been punished?
My daughter was known by her married name. So far, no one here has connected except Jill Mallory. Did she tell you?
I've been sort of combing the birds out of the fur on my own. And the obituary notice listed an Edward R. Davis as the father. I found out that was you.
I won't pretend I have any loving fondness for Shirley Evans, but I'm a professional, and so is she.
And you don't harbor any old grudges?
Just a long-buried feeling of hurt, I guess. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my daughter as much as any father, but Phyllis was wild. She ran with a pack, and everyone concerned has suffered enough a long time ago.
That's very understanding of you.
But you don't believe me.
Let's say I'd like to believe you.
Well, that's fair enough. Oh, boy. That's why they call them deadlines. You kill yourself trying to beat them.
If you're gonna start spending the nights here, I'm gonna order a day bed for the office, okay?
What?
It's almost 10 o'clock. Look, I know it's not important to cute fellas like you, but I really need my beauty sleep.
Betty, would you please get me Mrs. Parrish on the phone?
Don't you mean Mr. Parrish?
When I say Mrs., I mean Mrs.
Poor Mr. Parrish. I wonder if his show is ever gonna open.
You ever have the thought that maybe he doesn't want it to open?
What?
You ever hear the producer who sold 200% of his show and the only thing that could save him was a quick flop?
Mrs. Parrish? Yes, would you please hold for Barnaby Jones?
Miss Parrish, I hope I didn't disturb you.
No. What can I do for you?
The other night, when your husband was talking to Miss Evans, he gave you the phone. Is that right?
Yes. Well, he went to the other phone to call the police.
You stayed right on that phone until Mr. Parrish and the police got to Miss Evans.
Yes. Well, I'm afraid I didn't have anyone to talk to. Poor Shirley had dropped the phone and run for her life by then.
Now, Miss Parrish, I'm going to ask you to tell me exactly everything that you heard on that phone.
Hello?
You've destroyed everything of value. You don't deserve to live.
Barnaby Jones' office, may I help you?
This is Agnes. May I speak to Mr. Jones? That crazy call, I just got one.
Agnes, Mr. Jones isn't here. Hold on while I try and reach him at another number, please. Oh, just hold on.
Okay.
Magnificent dog.
Tame as an old cow, really. He's got a good barker on him, though. Only trick he knows is barking.
You keep him outside at night?
Yeah. He'd be out there now if you weren't here.
You
You don't have to know any more tricks than that, son.
Hello?
You got smart written all over you.
It's for you. Your daughter-in-law?
Oh, thank you. Betty?
Barnaby, I have Agnes on the other line. She just got one of those crank calls again. I thought they were all over.
Well, it's not quite all over, Betty. Keep talking to her. I'll get right over there.
Agnes? Agnes? Agnes, are you there?
It's all right, Miss Evans. There's no one here. There's never been anyone here, has there?
What?
You deserve every acting award you ever received, there's no doubt about it. Lloyd Kilgore saw your performance the other night, and it cost him his life. That's the way it happened, isn't it?
Lloyd?
You never did want to do that show. You were just looking for an excuse to find a way out.
You don't know what it's like out there every night. All those faces studying me, staring at me. Those stupid faces eating at me. I'm never gonna do that again. Never, never.
It's all right, Shirley. You don't have to do it anymore.
I don't.
No.
I don't.
Not anymore.
It's all I ever wanted. Ever since I was little. Ever since I was a little girl. I never wanted to be out there. Oh, my poor baby. I always had a feeling. I always had a feeling.
It was terror that destroyed her, Mr. Parrish. Shirley Evans was scared to death of the millions of people who loved her.
My God, the torture she must have gone through all these years. Being on the stage must have been like the fire of Hades for her. How could you know that?
I didn't until that big old police dog next door started me to thinking.
It's incredible to me. But you were right. I couldn't hear it barking the night I called Cheryl on the phone.
Neither did your wife later, which meant that no one had entered or left through those doors. Miss Evans was here alone until you and the police came, and then the dog started barking.
What about the night Kilgore came snooping around?
I heard the dog barking myself. Miss Evans was in here putting on the act of her life. Kilgore had seen her, so it was a matter of life and death to her, so she killed him. Then in one last desperate effort, she tried to involve Agnes by calling up on the other line and hitting her on the head. She knew that someone was listening on the phone. She had an audience.
Don't talk about her like she's a criminal now. A bump on the head is nothing.
Together all the pieces, Tom. I've got proof. My peerless leader, Mr. McKenna himself. He's involved in a criminal conspiracy, and it's heavy.
All right, give.
The complications, Tom, it's close to unbelievable.
Hold a second, please. We have intercepts on every line in or out of the building, sir. justice, I'm afraid you'll have to terminate her.
Westland Liquors. West.
Your face was badly scratched by Doris Grady.
They set me up, Mr. Cannon. They put me in a box. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. I'm not a man anymore, Mr. Cannon. I'm impotent.
Obstinate, and a very super lady.
I understand how you feel, Tom. Why did you call me?
She said she had proof that the man she worked for, Bud McKenna, was involved with something criminal and big.
I don't want to talk to Gordon. Not yet. Not till this is all over. Not with what you tell me about these men, these investigators.
Cannon and Jones? Relax, Bud. You messed up letting Doris find that memo. But it's covered. He is expecting your call.
Oh, Bud, hello. It's good to hear your voice. I've got an old friend of yours here, Matt Vanner, who's still refusing to sell us his company.
Nothing personal, Gordon, but Montana Uranium's my baby. IRI's big enough to buy the whole state of Montana. Just leave me my little bit.
Still refusing, Miss Gordy?
He's still holding out, but I'm not giving up. Matt, I'm ready to sweeten the deal.
Not enough sugar in all those Hawaiian acres of yours.
What is it? The controls!
My father's dead, Mr. McKenna. I've faced that. And the fact that I've inherited his shares in our company. I know IRI made him an offer.
More than just an offer, Miss Vanner. We had a number of very good meetings.
I'll look over this offer, but frankly, I don't think we're going to be interested.
I thought sure with him gone.
We underestimated the power of genetic inheritance. Well, the Vanners are an unlucky family. Laura's no mining expert. An accident isn't unlikely.
He won't accept your call.
What?
I told him you were already half soused.
Gordy set you on me. His own secretary. His own lousy spy. Well, you can tell him from me that if he won't accept my call, the next one will be from the police. Now get out!
Bud?
Must have been desperate. Your safety glass is hard to break. Watch your eyes. Acid. Either fuming nitric or a type of hydrofluoric.
A man facing indictment for murder might commit suicide. But he wouldn't bother to weaken his windows with acid first.
But all of the evidence pointed to Bud McKenna.
Then we'll just have to look past him, dig out new evidence. That's 3 murders now. Doris Grady, Matt Vanner, and Bud McKenna. And we still don't know why.
McKenna had to hit that glass pretty hard. Either had to be pushed or thrown against it.
Pushed by whom? There was no one in the office.
Except his secretary, Alice Parks.
Alice Parks?
The only other human being in the office, and that's the reason you're going to investigate that lady.
You used to be a top-grade legal secretary, Betty. I'm sure the IRI would be delighted to hire you.
Dave told Chuck has some friends in personnel. We'll arrange for an opening in the legal department for you, near Miss Parks.
And we'll start digging into the life and times of Bud McKenna.
Lord, grant forgiveness to the troubled spirit of Bud McKenna. Now that he is freed of the agonies that
I just got word this morning, sir.
now
Miller's been placed in a psychiatric facility. Out of mind, out of sight.
that his spirit will find rest in your hands. The government contract notification reached Montana Uranium today, Gordon.
Should make Laura Vanna very happy.
Providing she's sensible.
If she accepts my offer, we get Montana Uranium. If she doesn't, that contract will go right up in her face, and we get Montana Uranium.
Bud McKenna is mourned deeply by all of us, but especially by his brother, who loved and cherished as only a brother can. For what bond is so deep as common blood? Now I take this time to ask Mr. Gordon McKenna to carry out his final wish.
Continue your thought, Lieutenant.
Look, Barnaby, I told you, as far as we're concerned, Bud McKenna committed suicide, and until there's any real evidence to the contrary...
I happen to have here the chemical analysis of the window glass in McKenna's office, which indicates that it had been weakened by acid. I think that warrants investigation. IRI might not agree.
IRI can pressure me, but they don't give me orders. All right? I'll open it up.
Sorry I messed up your report.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, Barnaby, do you have any other evidence?
No, but I might come up with something soon, like why McKenna got himself killed and how that ties in with a mining operation in Montana.
Montana Uranium just the way my father wanted it. Independent.
Laura, be reasonable. We need capital.
Not anymore. I've just confirmed the go-ahead on a major government contract.
Oh, yeah? What kind of delivery schedule?
We don't have to make a delivery date. We're going to be licensed to set up our own uranium enrichment operation right here with government financing.
Oh, wow. We're not equipped to handle enriched uranium. That stuff's hot, really dangerous.
We're not going to build an H-bomb, Roy. Just make the government happy. And us a little rich.
Sounds good.
Banner, Barnaby Jones is Frank Cannon.
Hello.
I called you earlier.
And I told you then, my father died accidentally.
In a plane owned by International Redevelopment, just after he turned down their offer to buy your company.
You said you didn't have any proof.
Just a few coincidences. Bud McKenna was handling the negotiations for IRI, wasn't he?
Yes, and I told him we weren't for sale.
The refusal must have been a big disappointment to him because he stepped out of a 23rd floor window.
Suicide?
Or murder. Again, connected to Montana Uranium.
This still doesn't make any sense. Now, we're a small company. IRI could acquire 10 Montana Uraniums, and it wouldn't be worth any more than a footnote in their annual report.
I understand you have a brand new government contract.
For enriched uranium, yes.
That's the stuff they use in military atomic explosive devices, isn't it? That makes you a rather special company. Who did your company deal with in Washington?
The Pentagon, of course. And one of my dad's personal contacts, Senator Dan Knox.
Knox arranged Tom Lochner's transfer to Washington. We checked Senator Knox out in this manner. He's tied to IRI closely.
Of course. They do a lot of government business. Dan Knox was a friend of my father's for over 15 years. I'm sorry, I just can't believe in some insane conspiracy.
Oh, you don't want to believe it, Miss Banner?
I'm sorry, gentlemen, My new contract means a lot of work. I've got to get at it.
No reason, no logic. But another dead end.
Yeah, up here, so far. Maybe Lieutenant Biddle has come up with something new on the McKenna murder.
Murder, huh?
You saw the technical evidence, John.
Yeah, your evidence. And on the basis of that evidence, I stuck my neck out and reopened this case.
That window glass was treated with acid.
It certainly was. And so was the glass in 7 other windows on this floor.
Well, I gotta admit, this kind of throws me. You got any explanation?
Very logical. These windows are washed automatically twice a week. Somehow acid got mixed in with the detergent.
By whom?
The company's checking their records now. And I must say they're being very cooperative.
Well, that's fine, Miss Enright. I'll just show you where the photocopy machine is.
Now, this is Lieutenant Biddle, Sawyer. Tell him.
I'm real sorry. We use this acid to clean the stone surface. I don't know how it got into the detergent. I was real careful when I mixed it up.
We'll analyze it, Mr. Corcoran, and I'm sure it'll check out. And I'm very grateful.
Glad to be of help.
See, I had no idea that was switched.
I think you'll find it checks out, Lieutenant, on account of it was planted.
On 7 other windows?
Of course, to make McKenna's phony suicide stick.
Maybe it wasn't phony. My problem is trying to explain to my superiors why I ever opened up this can of worms. I'm gonna give you one warning. Any more meddling, and I will be forced to do my damnedest to get both your licenses lifted. Case closed.
Check. And mate. Don't want to play another, do you?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not much of a match for you.
Well, I'm expecting a long-distance call. See you back at the office. All
Well, it's not easy, but I think she's beginning to trust me. We're even going out to dinner tonight.
You learn anything?
I thought you'd never ask. Alice Parks was Gordon McKenna's private secretary for over 10 years, and his mistress.
Well, when the chairman of the board gets his private secretary to work for the vice president, that could mean he wanted her to spy for him. If she did that, she might have kept records.
Well, she has all her confidential notes in a memo pad, which she takes home with her every night after work.
You, say that she's invited you to dinner tonight, Betty.
Mm-hmm, yes.
You think you can keep her busy for a couple of hours?
Well, it shouldn't be any problem. She's also invited me to go with her to her health club. She's a fanatic about exercise.
What time would you be going to the health club?
Oh, dinner about 8:30, I imagine.
Why don't you give me the address of the place? I'll just sort of mosey by around 8:30, just to be there.
Good. It'll give me time to get in and take a good look at the ladies' apartment.
It's 1132 South Motor. Alice, why so early? I'm famished.
It's healthier to eat after you exercise. You'll feel marvelous. Okay? 1, 2. 1, 2.
Alice, I can't. I really... Good grief, Alice, you've got to be made of rawhide and piano wire.
Well, try to keep limber. Come on. And here we are. We use this room for self-defense exercise. It's really perfect.
Listen, Alice, really, I'm dead tired. And I really am hungry. Could we just go and eat?
But I promised to show you some holds. It'll only take a few minutes. It's a marvelous sport.
Yeah.
Here, let me demonstrate a simple hip throw. Oh, you didn't land well, dear. One of the key things is learning how to fall.
Alice,
This is a superb way of keeping fit.
Alice, listen, I really don't want to.
Never try to grab, dear, or you could be taken by surprise. You know, I was surprised to learn how curious you were about me.
Let go of my hand.
Of course. One must be very careful with this kind of training. Somebody could get seriously hurt or even killed. Why were you so curious about me? What is it you wanted to know?
I have friends who know where I am.
Your father-in-law, Mr. Jones? Mr. Cannon? I won't be worried about you for quite a while yet. So, tell me, Betty, why are they so curious about me? What information do they have that makes them so nosy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, Betty. Be honest. You'll fall.
If you kill me, it'll prove that you killed Bud McKenna, and we know who gave the orders.
Corcoran's the messenger, nothing more. Well, I guess it's time to go for the more advanced holes. Betty, what a thing to say. You're lucky there were no witnesses to prove you're a liar. And we were having such a fun time, Mr. Jones.
I'd like a little more of an explanation than that.
We were having a lesson in the art of self-defense. So useful for a woman of my age. I hope I wasn't too enthusiastic, dear. There we go.
What happened?
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I think I can make it out. It's in her own style, but it's all based on standard shorthand.
Then get to translating, Betty. I want that woman in jail.
All the action plans on Montana uranium were in my notes, Gordon, in detail.
And now Jones and Cannon have them. It's bad.
We'll have to stop them.
No, not really. They were Bud's notes for Bud's plans, and Bud is dead. Alice, you can't be held responsible. You were his secretary. You simply took notes. Nevertheless, might be a good idea for you to take a trip. Europe, maybe?
No. I won't be shipped off like that, Gordon.
No, Alice. A vacation. A vacation with pay. Lord knows you deserve it. Let's say $250,000. And a regular stipend.
But I want to be with you. Gordon, I know things can't be the way they were between us, but the world is full of pathetic little people, and you're so much more. You're going to change history, and I want to be part of that. I want to share that.
Alice, I want you with me. We'll go to Europe first, and then maybe Africa. You better get your passport ready and all the necessary inoculations.
First thing tomorrow morning?
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved you, Gordon. I'll never change.
In the morning.
She means that.
Unfortunately, she could have killed that girl. She's completely unreliable. Handle it.
Alice?
I don't mean kill her. Handle it gently. She deserves that.
I want to thank you all for being here today, General Stanford.
That's a big step, Miss Vanner. The first uranium enrichment facility under civilian control. Montana Uranium's a pilot project for the whole industry. Figured the least I could do is give it sort of a starting cheer.
Everything's ready, Laura.
Onward and upward.
That's radioactive.
What's happening?
I don't know.
It was sabotage, and I can't prove it.
Was anybody hurt or killed?
No, thank heaven. The accident wrecked a totally automated section. The only damage was that, and it's covered by insurance.
You think IRI rigged it?
I can't prove it. Officially, the accident is my fault. And now, of course, the banks and my board of directors are going to be pressured to move me out and accept IRI's offer. Sell my company. I don't care about the company. They killed my father. What can I do?
Well, we haven't been able to put this puzzle together yet, but we do think that one of the big pieces is Senator Daniel Knox.
I've finished transcribing.
Find anything?
A lot more details on how they plan to take over Montana Uranium. You know, it really sounds like a military operation, including the plan to remove Mr. Vanner. I'm sorry.
I know Dad was murdered, Betty.
What about motive? Why does IRI want Montana Uranium so badly?
It's never mentioned in here.
The new enrichment process?
I don't see how. It might add, $1.5 million to our annual earnings. But IRI takes that much in every 8 hours.
What about military value?
After the uranium's enriched, it's under military guard. And it's counted by the gram. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
IRI was ready to do just about anything to get Montana uranium. Now, there's only one man in their organization with the power to arrange that, and that's the chairman of the board. That's Gordon McKenna.
You think he killed his brother?
Corcoran probably arranged it. Don Corcoran, vice president, public relations at IRI. An unlikely job for a retired Marine Corps colonel with a brilliant military record. McKenna buys only the best.
Anything on McKenna in there?
No, oh, wait a minute. Yes, meeting scheduled for the 18th. Mr. Gordon McKenna will chair it personally.
18th? It's tomorrow. Where?
There's just a name here. Damocles.
Is that Damocles as in sword of Damocles? As in threat? That could be a place, a person, or a code. I wonder if Tom would know anything about that. Hello, operator. I'd like to talk with Mr. Tom Lochner, United States Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C.
And if he doesn't have an idea, we run into the same dead end. Now, we've got no choice. We've got to do some pushing on the one person who took those notes, Alice Parks. I know it'll never stand up, but if you swore out a complaint against her for assault and battery, it might just give us enough leverage, huh?
It will be my pleasure.
2 sore arms, Alice.
Well, then you better hurry up, Sam, because I've got to get my passport renewed here.
It out. She's definitely here in the hospital, in isolation.
Any reason given?
Doctor's orders. His name is Holbertson, Samuel Holbertson.
You can't see Miss Parks. The doctor left strict orders. Dr. Holbertson, these men insist on...
Seeing Miss Parks. I'm sorry, that's impossible.
Then we'll have to get a court order, Doctor.
Very well. It's tragic. She had a violently toxic reaction to a combination of inoculations. The effect is permanent. Severe brain damage. Poor Miss Parks. For all effects and purposes, she's a vegetable.
Gentlemen, well, I got a piece of an answer anyway. Right out of Senator Knox's office. I told him how to contact him on business, committee business.
Is he attending McKenna's meeting?
Absolutely. Left Washington yesterday. Only I couldn't find out where it's being held.
Not even a smell of it?
Well, I think it's being held on the ocean somewhere. His legislative assistant told me he bought some seasick medicine.
Wait a minute. Damocles. Barnaby, that has to be his ship. That has to be registered. Come on, let's go.
So the mine can be back in full operation inside 2 weeks, Mr. McKenna. I kept the damage to a minimum.
Did a clean job, Geddes. We should complete the Montana uranium acquisition by July. You'll continue as chief engineer. 6 months, you take over the president.
Thank you, sir.
Now, if you'll excuse us. Gentlemen. We've had a number of meetings. We've all talked. I think enough to begin to understand how our interests might fit together interestingly. But first, to refresh everybody's memory, Yvonne Nielsen, shipbuilding. Hideki Ito, representing the Oturi Industrial Group. Iron ore, potash, bauxite. Egon Kramer, Europatia, Commerzbank. Premier Kamin Ali. Tungsten, nickel, manganese. And Monsieur Jean Saint-Viance, sulfur, chemicals. And Sheikh Habib Kuri.
I own nothing. I control nothing.
Nay, verily, man is aggressive in wickedness when he seeth himself possessed of wealth. Habib Kuri, gentlemen, is a man of his people. His people who sit on top of the sand, which sits on top of 60 billion barrels of oil. Together, gentlemen, we own, control, influence enough of the world's resources to influence the world.
Power.
Certainly.
But I am already powerful. Why join with others to get more?
To do more. Gentlemen, we are the only sane members of the multinational organizations. We can enforce that sanity. We can create a golden age and own it. Gentlemen, we can make the future.
Impressive. But there is one necessity. Oil.
For a price.
Big Curry, I'm prepared to pay it.
You said that a year ago, 6 months ago, again and again. Your words, Sadie McKenna, are like the wind.
Yes, but the words are done. IRI is acquiring Montana uranium. The government has licensed them to enrich nuclear fuel. Habib Curie, I can guarantee you, within a year, enough enriched fuel to give your nation full atomic capability.
Military capability?
Exactly. Creating a new balance of power in the Middle East, in the world, for all of us.
Not yet. I've heard about the killings, all the trouble. I've heard all the promises. I must have proof.
That's right. Gentlemen, I believe you all know Senator Daniel Knox.
Gentlemen, I've gotten the legislation. Montana Uranium will be in charge of an enriched uranium facility.
With your military in control.
Exactly. Gentlemen, I'd like you all to meet General Todd Stanford.
I just returned from Montana Uranium's number 3 mine. It'll be in production inside of a month. We'll be able to deliver in 3.
Ism Allah, Nahum, Ra'uf, the name of God, the compassionate and the merciful. I agree.
Mr. Corcoran, would you advise the captain that we are ready to return?
Yeah. McKenna's got the Damocles. And transportation's coming. And here they come.
Habib Curie. He's somewhere between 50 and 100 billion barrels of oil. Now, you say McKenna's the link-up, IRI?
That's right, Mr. Calvelli. The meeting was held on his boat right after his company took over Montana Uranium.
I see, but you've got no proof of any conspiracy.
Yeah, but what does all this add up to? A music festival?
With Senator Knox and General Stanford.
Well, that's terrific. You want me to send the Antitrust Division against the United States Senate and the Pentagon?
Why don't you start with IRI? You get Gordon McKenna and the whole thing will fall apart.
For meeting with a group of very powerful men? There's nothing illegal about it. I mean, we don't know that there is any agreement, cartel, or conspiracy. Habib Curie doesn't have to join with anybody. He's got it all.
Look, McKenna has to be offering him something. What does Corey want?
Not money, Allah knows. Luxury, no. The man's aesthetic. Power. Power to bend the Middle East his way.
Nuclear weapon?
Mr. Jones, that material is highly guarded.
Yes, by General Todd Stanford.
Dear God. That's why they wanted my company.
And sabotaged your plant to get it. While that plant was operating under a U.S. government contract, I might add.
You know something? You're all innocents. This man here is a heavyweight. Knox. The odds are this whole thing would get quashed, no matter what I did.
So you're not going to do anything?
Did I say that, Mr. Jones? Did I? You know, my father runs one of the finest apple orchards in Coneweema County. I can always go back to picking. It happens that I'm a government bureaucrat. It's no job for a sane man, right? Except it happens that I'm here because I care about this country.
So do we, Mr. Calvelli.
I'm going to open a full-throttle investigation of IRI, including the 3 alleged murders.
Thank you, Mr. Calvelli.
More than that, I want your help. Now, you know your plant inside out. I want you to go up to Montana. I'll contact the FBI there to assist you. I want you to bring back evidence of that sabotage.
Calvelli? Oh, he can be rough if he gets on a crusade. Are you positive?
We have a friend in the Department of Justice. Cavelli met with Cannon, Jones, and your staff investigator, Tom Lochner. And they're cooking up an investigation.
Oh, no, Gordon. I can't squash a Justice Department investigation. I'd be crucified.
You'll have to risk it, Daniel.
I've got political enemies.
You have a marriage position. You want to risk your career and your marriage against those photos?
All right. I'll squash the investigation. I'll try.
And you'll manage. I trust you, Daniel.
What about Jones and Cannon?
I want them terminated.
It'll raise a stink, Mr. McKenna.
I want them dead.
We'll be there in about 20 minutes.
Magnificent country around here, isn't it? Looks like you're the only one wearing a parachute.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Are you fixing to go somewhere?
Just leaving you.
Oh, I wouldn't jump without that snap hook. Why didn't you hand me that pistol? Give it to him. Because if you use it up here, we'll all die. Seems to me that you got two choices. Either you can jump now with a parachute that's already been released, or you can land us safely. You're not going to need the gun for that, so why don't you give it to him? Now, who hired you to kill us? You know, as it stands, you're going to take the fall for this attempted murder. Unless your friends killed you first for inefficiency. Who hired you?
Corcoran! John Corcoran!
He wanted you to kill us.
To let the chopper crash? Yes. I was supposed to get in touch with him as soon as I could reach a phone.
Where is he?
Well, he's waiting, some ranch.
McKenna's.
That's all I know.
Jones and Cannon left Montana late this morning.
Your pilot failed, Corcoran.
He's in jail for attempted murder. It is possible he told them he was hired by me.
Oh, no.
I'm assuming that Jones and Cannon are coming here.
Good. Pilot can always change the story afterwards.
After what?
After I killed Jones and Cannon.
Ready? Pull.
You know, that's a curious thing Calvelli said. He thinks he could bust IRI, but he doesn't think he can take down McKenna personally.
Murder, conspiracy to murder, attempted murder, except it all points to Corcoran. McKenna's still in the shadows. turn on. I'll put the car into a skid. You roll out, and I'll be the decoy, okay?
The media campaign first in several mid-sized cities. Cincinnati, Omaha, St. Louis, right in America's heartland.
Good. If we can move public opinion, it will help me get the legislation through Congress.
Daniel, we don't move public opinion, we create it.
No, is that easy?
It will be. It will be.
Mr. McKenna? Your man Corcoran is dead. He gave us a dying statement that nailed you to the wall.
Have you had an accident, Mr.
Jones, Barnaby Jones.
Yes, of course. Yes, I've heard of you.
In connection with the murder of Doris Grady, or Matthew Vanner, or your brother?
It's a cheap and ugly innuendo, Mr. Jones. You've had an accident, yes, but that's no excuse for slander.
Slander, McKenna? We have Cochran's statement that you ordered those 3 murders. He's going down, Senator. You still have time to turn government witness, unless you want to drown with him.
You're saying that Mr. Corcoran committed these crimes? Well, frankly, I find that very difficult to believe. But even the mere possibility I find chilling. Yes, I gave Mr. Corcoran considerable authority. He had my trust. But you're asking me to believe that he abused that trust and committed these crimes in behalf of IRI.
You're saying he committed those 3 murders on his own?
All I'm saying, of course, is I knew absolutely nothing about any of these actions. I had absolutely no responsibility. And if he had anything to do with the death of my brother,
Reports of my death were exaggerated, Mr. McKenna. And you were damn quick to lay all the blame on me.
Galvelli's investigation, the pilot's statement, Corcoran's testimony. I think you're dead, McKenna.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I'm a wealthy man. IRI has infinite resources. Our legal budget is perhaps larger than the Justice Department. Oh, I may be indicted, yeah. There may be a trial. And it'll drag on for years and years and years, but in the end, I'll be vindicated.
And what will I be, Mr. McKenna?
I hope, Mr. Corcoran, that you'll be sensible. Just hang tough.
And I'll hang alone. For God, for country, and for International Redevelopment, Inc. I think I needed a cause, Mr. McKenna. Something to believe in. But your brand new future world. It's your own reflection enlarged. There's no room for anybody else, and no reason why I should trust you. I'm deserting, Mr. McKenna.
Don't use your intelligence. We have a common interest.
No, Mr. McKenna. I'm no longer interested.
I guess that just about wraps it up.
Well, what can you expect from a professional killer? A man whose alliance knows no boundaries except his own skin.
Don't do it, McKenna. It's suicide.
Gordon, don't be stupid.
McKenna! You'll never make it.
We can work this thing out.
I have the world. You want me to settle for pity bought with bribes? You want me to hang by a suspended sentence for the rest of my life? No.
Well, I don't know a word big enough to say it, but how about celebrating over dinner?
All of us.
Well, we're still tied up with Calvelli. Why don't you 2 go ahead?
Hey, that's a good idea. How about it?
I'd love to. Bye.
Bye-bye. Now, as to dinner. You know, I have discovered a restaurant, Barnaby, that I'm sure you're going to love. It's called Cornelia's Country Cooking, and they fry everything from grits to coleslaw. It's your kind of place, old friend.
Well, Frank,
You know I love country cooking, but not exclusively. Matter of fact, I was about to recommend
The quiet afternoon in the city possessed a subtle, reassuring calm, the kind of day where the sunlight filtered softly through the windows and the distant hum of traffic felt almost like a gentle, reassuring melody. It was a time for careful thoughts and steady resolve, a day when truth, no matter how deeply hidden under layers of ambition and corporate power, would eventually find its way toward the light. Inside the quiet office, Tom sat at his desk, staring at the documents spread before him. His hands rested firmly on the smooth wooden surface as he looked toward Frank Cannon, a man whose steady presence always brought a sense of clarity and patience to even the most chaotic situations. Tom took a deep breath, his voice steady, yet filled with a profound sense of urgency. "All the pieces are coming together," Tom said, his eyes reflecting the weight of the discovery he had just made. "I have got proof. My peerless leader, Mr. McKenna himself, is deeply involved in a criminal conspiracy, and it is heavy." Frank Cannon leaned back in his comfortable armchair, listening with thoughtful attention. He knew that when Tom spoke with such quiet intensity, the matter was far from ordinary. "All right, give," Frank replied calmly, encouraging him to share the full scope of what he had uncovered. "The complications," Tom continued, shaking his head slightly with a mixture of wonder and concern, "are close to unbelievable." At that exact moment, across town in the high-tech communications room of International Redevelopment Incorporated, the atmosphere was crisp, efficient, and intensely focused. High-level executives monitored the intricate flow of information with quiet precision. A quiet signal chimed on the console. "Hold a second, please," one of the operators said into his headset, addressing his supervisor. "Can you monitor a public telephone?" The supervisor leaned over the console, his voice smooth and detached. "We have intercepts on every line going in or out of the building, sir." "All right, record the call," came the firm instruction from the senior director standing near the display monitors. "If she begins to say anything dangerous, jam the connection immediately. And if Miss Grady intends any serious action against us, I am afraid you will have to terminate her employment and her access to our files." Moments later, near a brightly lit street corner, Doris Grady stood inside a public telephone booth outside Westland Liquors. Her breath came quickly as she held the receiver tightly against her ear, looking around at the peaceful evening sky. Suddenly, the quiet street was disrupted by a swift, chaotic moment. "Westland Liquors," she managed to gasp into the phone before the line crackled with sudden noise. Hey," someone shouted as the receiver swung gently on its cord. In the aftermath of the encounter, Frank Cannon stood near the scene, his calm gaze assessing the situation with characteristic thoroughness. He looked at the gentle-mannered man standing before him, whose face showed clear marks of a struggle. "Your face was badly scratched by Doris Grady," Frank observed softly, his tone carrying understanding rather than judgment. "They set me up, Mr. Cannon," the man explained, his voice trembling slightly with emotion as he sought to make sense of the overwhelming events. "They put me in a box. I did not do it. I did not do anything. And I could not do anything. I feel completely helpless, Mr. Cannon, obstinate and overwhelmed by everything that is happening around me." "I understand how you feel, Tom," Frank said, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. His presence was like an anchor in a storm, offering steady support and practical wisdom. "Why did you call me?" She said she had proof that the man she worked for, Bud McKenna, was involved with something criminal and big, Tom replied, taking a moment to catch his breath and regain his composure. Meanwhile, in a private meeting room overlooking the city, two men discussed the rapidly unfolding events with cold calculation. The room was tastefully decorated, with large glass windows offering a panoramic view of the skyline. "I do not want to talk to Gordon," one of the men remarked, looking out over the city lights. "Not yet. Not till this whole matter is settled. Not with what you tell me about these independent investigators." "Cannon and Jones," the second man replied smoothly, pouring a glass of mineral water. "Relax, Bud. You messed up letting Doris find that internal memo, but it is completely covered now. He is expecting her call right about now. A phone chimed, breaking the silence. Bud picked up the receiver with a practiced smile. "Oh, Bud, hello," came the hearty voice from the other end of the line. "It is good to hear your voice. I have an old friend of yours right here with me, Matt Vanner, who is still refusing to sell us his company." "Nothing personal, Gordon," Matt Vanner said warmly, his voice carrying the stubborn pride of a man who had built his life through honest, hard work. "But Montana Uranium is my baby. International Redevelopment Incorporated is big enough to buy the whole state of Montana if it wants to. Just leave me my little bit of land." "Still refusing, Mr. Gordon?" Bud asked with a polite, measured smile. "Hey, still holding out, but I am not giving up," Matt replied with a cheerful chuckle. "Matt, I am ready to sweeten the deal even further," Gordon offered, his tone inviting and persuasive. "There is not enough sugar in all those Hawaiian acres of yours to change my mind," Matt said firmly, shaking his head with a light laugh. Outside the office, the quiet rustle of paper drew the attention of those waiting in the lobby. "What is it?" someone asked as Laura Vanner walked into the room, her expression steady and resolute. "My father is dead, Mr. McKenna," Laura said quietly, honoring the memory of her father with dignity and strength. "I have faced that reality now, along with the fact that I have inherited his shares in our company. I know International Redevelopment Incorporated made him an offer before he passed away." "It was more than just a routine offer, Miss Vanner," Bud replied smoothly, stepping forward with an welcoming gesture. "We had a number of very good meetings with your father." "I will look over this offer," Laura said calmly, taking the folder handed to her. "But frankly, I do not think we're going to be interested in selling." Bud watched her walk away, a look of surprise crossing his face. "I thought for sure." With him gone, he muttered under his breath. "You underestimated the power of genetic inheritance and core values," his associate observed dryly. "Well, the Vanners have always been a determined family. Laura is no mining expert, but she knows her own mind. An accident isn't entirely unlikely in that line of work, though." Across town, a secretary put down a telephone handset with a sigh. "He will not accept your call," she reported. "What?" the executive asked, looking up from his desk in disbelief. "I told him you were already half-souse," the secretary explained quietly. "Cordy set you up." His own secretary, a spy for the opposition. "Well, you can tell him from me," the man said, standing up and straightening his jacket, "that if he will not accept my call, the next one he receives will be directly from the police department. Now, please, get out." "He did do it, Dad," Laura whispered to herself as she stood near the high window of her office, looking up toward the vast blue sky. "Help, God," she breathed silently, drawing strength from her faith and the loving memories of her family. Inside another high-rise office building, Barnaby Jones stood near a broken window, examining the subtle marks left on the frame. His decades of experience as a private investigator gave him a keen eye for details that others might easily overlook. He picked up a small fragment of glass with careful precision. "He must have been desperate," Barnaby noted thoughtfully. "The safety glass used in these modern buildings is remarkably hard to break without significant effort. Watch your eyes, Frank, there are chemical residues here. Acid, either fuming nitric or a specific type of hydrofluoric acid." Frank Cannon nodded, stepping back slightly to examine the outer ledge. A man facing an indictment for murder might tragically choose to end his own life, Frank reasoned softly. But he certainly would not bother to weaken his office windows with industrial acid prior to doing so. "Exactly," Barnaby agreed, his voice calm and analytical. All of the immediate evidence pointed conveniently to Bud McKenna. "So we will just have to look past the obvious, dig out new evidence, and find the real truth behind this whole affair." That makes 3 unexplained incidents now: Doris Grady, Matt Vanner, and now Bud McKenna. And we still do not know the underlying motivation. "McKenna had to hit that glass pretty hard," Frank pointed out, measuring the height of the sill with his eyes. "He had to be pushed or thrown against it with considerable force." "Pushed by whom?" Barnaby mused, looking around the quiet room. There was no one else in the office at the time, except his secretary, Alice Parks. "Alice Parks?" Frank repeated, considering the name. The only other human being present in the office complex. And that is precisely the reason we are going to carefully investigate that lady. Barnaby turned toward Betty Jones, who had been reviewing the administrative files nearby. You used to be a top-grade legal secretary, Betty, Barnaby said with a warm, encouraging smile. I am sure International Redevelopment Incorporated would be absolutely delighted to hire someone with your outstanding qualifications. We have heard that Chuck has some helpful friends in their personnel department. We will arrange for a temporary opening in their legal department for you, right near Miss Parks. Meanwhile, Frank and I will start digging thoroughly into the life and times of Bud McKenna. In a quiet, peaceful memorial chapel on the outskirts of the city, soft organ music played as friends and family gathered to pay their final respects. The minister stood before the congregation, speaking words of comfort and hope. Lord, grant forgiveness to the troubled spirit of Bud McKenna. The minister prayed gently, his voice echoing softly off the stained glass windows. Now that he is free from the struggles of this earthly life, we ask that his spirit will find everlasting rest in your caring hands. At the back of the chapel, two men in tailored suits spoke in hushed, polite tones. I just got word this morning, sir, the younger associate reported quietly. Miller has been placed in a very comfortable psychiatric facility. Out of mind, out of sight. The minister continued his eulogy with heartfelt sincerity. Bud McKenna is mourned deeply by all of us today, but especially by his brother, who loved and cherished him as only a brother can. For what bond is so deep as common blood? Now, I take this moment to ask Mr. Gordon McKenna to step forward and carry out his brother's final wishes. Outside the chapel, Lieutenant Biddle walked alongside Barnaby Jones, enjoying the crisp afternoon air as they walked down the stone path. Look, Barnaby, Biddle said with a friendly smile, I told you that as far as the department is concerned, Bud McKenna committed suicide. And until there is any real, tangible evidence to the contrary, our official report stands. Barnaby reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a neatly folded paper. I just happen to have right here the detailed chemical analysis of the window glass from McKenna's office, Barnaby said gently, handing the document to the officer. It clearly indicates that the glass had been systematically weakened by acid prior to the fall. I think that certainly warrants a little further investigation. International Redevelopment Incorporated might not agree with that assessment, Biddle noted, reviewing the chemical report with growing interest. They can express their opinions, of course, Barnaby replied with a light, humorous twinkle in his eye, but they do not give us our orders. Biddle chuckled softly, appreciating Barnaby's unwavering dedication to justice. All right, Barnaby, I will reopen the official inquiry. Sorry if I doubted your initial report. Oh, that is quite all right, Barnaby said warmly. Do you have any other supporting evidence at the moment?
Biddle asked.
No, Barnaby admitted honestly, but I might come up with something very soon. Something like why McKenna found himself in that position, and how all of this ties directly into a small mining operation up in Montana. A few hours later, high above the picturesque mountain ranges of North America, a light passenger plane glided smoothly through the clear blue sky. The snow-capped peaks below sparkled brightly under the afternoon sun, painting a picture of tranquility and natural grandeur. It takes about 40 minutes to reach Montana Uranium from here, the pilot reported back to the cabin. We can land right near the primary mine entrance. Fine, the passenger replied, looking out at the magnificent landscape below. Money and power are secondary to doing what is right. I do not care what Gordon McKenna wants or what corporate orders are issued, Roy, Laura Vanner declared firmly as she sat inside the main office of the Montana Uranium facility. Her eyes were bright with determination. I fully intend to keep Montana Uranium exactly the way my father always wanted it to remain, completely independent, fair, and dedicated to serving our community. Laura, please be reasonable, will you? Roy urged softly, offering her a hot cup of tea. We need capital to expand our operations. Not anymore, Laura said with a bright smile, setting a fresh stack of documents on the desk. I have just received official confirmation on the go-ahead for a major government research contract. Oh, really? Roy asked, pleasantly surprised. What kind of delivery schedule are we looking at? We do not even have to meet a rigid delivery date, Laura explained enthusiastically. We are going to be fully licensed to set up our very own peaceful uranium enrichment operation right here on site, supported by federal grant financing. Oh, wow, Roy said, his eyes widening with surprise. But we are not currently equipped to handle enriched materials. That process requires extreme care and specialized safety protocols. We are not going to build anything hazardous, Roy, Laura reassured him with a warm laugh. We are just going to fulfill the clean energy research goals, make the government happy, and keep our company independent and prosperous. It is a wonderful opportunity. Outside the administration building, a sleek black car pulled up, and two distinguished gentlemen stepped out into the crisp mountain air. Frank Cannon looked around at the pristine pine trees surrounding the facility, taking a moment to appreciate the fresh, fragrant air. Senator Jones? Frank called out politely as they walked toward the entrance. This is Frank Cannon. I called your office earlier today. Yes, the senator replied, turning to greet them with a polite nod. And I told you then that my dear friend Matt Vanner died in a terrible accident while traveling in a plane owned by International Redevelopment Incorporated, just after he had politely turned down their generous offer to buy his company. You mentioned at the time that you did not have any definitive proof, Frank noted gently. Just a few unusual coincidences. But McKenna was personally handling the corporate negotiations for the acquisition, was he not? Yes, he was, Laura Vanner said as she stepped out to join them, her voice clear and confident. And I personally told him that our family business was simply not for sale. That polite refusal must have been a significant disappointment to their expansion plans, Frank observed thoughtfully, because shortly afterward, he stepped out of a 23rd floor window. Officially ruled a suicide, but potentially something far more complex, and once again connected directly to Montana uranium. This whole situation still does not make complete sense to me, Laura admitted, wrapping her coat a little tighter against the mountain breeze. We are a relatively small, independent mining operation. International Redevelopment Incorporated could acquire 10 companies our size, and it would hardly amount to more than a brief footnote in their annual financial report. I understand you recently secured a brand new government research contract, Frank said, shifting the topic smoothly. For enriched material research, yes, Laura confirmed proudly. It is part of a national initiative for modern energy infrastructure. That makes your small independent operation rather special and unique, Frank pointed out with a smile. Who did your company primarily deal with in Washington to secure such an opportunity? The Department of Energy and the Pentagon, of course, Laura replied. And one of my late father's longtime personal contacts, Senator Dan Knox. Knox was the one who personally arranged Tom Lochner's temporary transfer to Washington, Frank noted. We took the liberty of looking into Senator Knox's background in this matter. He is tied very closely to corporate development projects. Of course, they handle a great deal of legitimate government business together. Dan Knox was a loyal friend of my father for over 15 years, Laura said warmly, defending her father's old colleague. I am sorry, but I simply cannot bring myself to believe in some vast, convoluted conspiracy. Oh, you do not want to believe it, Miss Vanner, and that is entirely understandable, Frank said with deep empathy and respect. It is human nature to see the good in people. I am sorry, gentlemen, Laura said politely, checking her watch with a friendly smile. My new contract involves a tremendous amount of detailed preparation work, and I really must get back to my desk. No reason, no logic, Frank mused softly as he and Barnaby walked back toward their vehicle. But another dead end for now. Yeah, up here so far, Barnaby agreed, looking out over the beautiful valleys. Perhaps Lieutenant Biddle has managed to come up with something new regarding the McKenna investigation back in the city. Back at police headquarters, Lieutenant Biddle sat behind his tidy desk, reviewing a fresh stack of lab reports. He looked up as Barnaby and Frank walked into his office. Murder, huh? Biddle asked with a raised eyebrow, though his tone was friendly. You saw the technical evidence, John. Yeah, your chemical evidence, Biddle acknowledged, leaning forward. And on the basis of that very impressive evidence, I stuck my neck out and officially reopened this complex case. You stated that the window glass was treated with a corrosive acid. It certainly was, Barnaby confirmed smoothly. And so was the glass in 7 other windows on that exact same floor, Biddle revealed, holding up the maintenance logs. Well, I have got to admit, this unexpected detail kind of throws me for a loop. Do you have any plausible explanation for that? Very logical, Barnaby replied without missing a beat. These high-rise windows are cleaned automatically twice a week using specialized machinery. Somehow, a corrosive chemical agent got mixed into the standard washing detergent. By whom? Biddle asked, taking a note. The building management company is checking their internal records right now, Barnaby explained. And I must say, they are being remarkably cooperative with our inquiries. Well, that is wonderful to hear, Miss Enright, a friendly maintenance supervisor said as he walked down the hallway with Betty Jones. I will just show you where the main photocopy machine is located. Lieutenant Biddle, sir. Let me explain the situation to you directly. I am real sorry about the confusion. We use a mild acid solution to clean the exterior stone surfaces of the building frame. I have no idea how it accidentally got mixed into the window detergent. I was real careful when I prepared the cleaning solution yesterday morning. We will have our laboratory analyze the mixture, Mr. Corcoran, Biddle said politely, and I am sure everything will check out as a simple administrative mistake. I am very grateful for your prompt assistance. Glad to be of help, Lieutenant, Mr. Corcoran replied with a warm, professional smile. I had absolute no idea that the containers had been switched in the supply room. I think you will find it checks out completely, Lieutenant, Barnaby noted dryly after the supervisor walked away, precisely on account of what was deliberately planted. On 7 other windows? Biddle asked, eyebrows raised in surprise. Of course, Barnaby explained with a quiet smile. It was a clever way to make McKenna's tragic fall look like a bizarre, unpredictable accident or a pre-planned act, rather than a targeted incident. Maybe it was not staged at all, Biddle said with a sigh, rubbing his temples. My main administrative problem right now is trying to explain to my superiors why I opened up this complex investigation without definitive proof. I am going to give you 2 a friendly warning. Any more unofficial meddling in corporate matters, and my superiors might feel compelled to review your private investigation licenses. For now, the official file remains closed. Check, Frank Cannon said with a hearty chuckle as he met Barnaby at a local recreational club later that afternoon. Don't want to play another game of chess, do you, Barnaby? I am afraid I am not much of a match for your Grandmaster strategy today. Well, I am expecting an important long-distance call shortly, Barnaby replied, setting his chess piece down with a satisfied smile. See you back at the main office. Okay, Frank said, waving goodbye. In a quiet, beautifully decorated dining room across town, Betty Jones sat enjoying a light evening salad with Alice Parks. The atmosphere was pleasant, filled with soft ambient music and friendly conversation. Well, it is not easy, Betty reported later in a quick voice memo to Barnaby, but I think she is really beginning to trust me as a colleague. We are even going out to a wonderful dinner together tonight. Did you learn anything interesting? Barnaby asked through the receiver with a warm chuckle. I thought you would never ask, Betty replied enthusiastically. I discovered that Alice Parks was Gordon McKenna's dedicated private secretary for over 10 years and a very close personal confidant. Well, Barnaby analyzed thoughtfully, when the chairman of the board arranges for his most trusted private secretary to work directly for the vice president, that could very well mean he wanted her to keep a watchful eye on corporate operations for him. If she did, she might have kept meticulous records of every meeting. She keeps all her confidential shorthand notes in a personal leather memo pad, Betty revealed, which she takes home with her every single night after work without fail. You say that she has invited you to dinner tonight, Betty? Barnaby asked, his tone becoming focused and practical. Yes, absolutely, Betty confirmed. Do you think you can keep her pleasantly occupied for a couple of hours? Barnaby inquired. Well, that shouldn't be any problem at all, Betty said with a smile. She has also invited me to accompany her to her personal health club after dinner. She is absolutely a fanatic about physical exercise and fitness. What time would you be heading over to the health club? Barnaby asked, taking down the details. Oh, dinner is around 7 o'clock, so we should be at the gym by 8:30, I imagine, Betty estimated. Why don't you give me the exact address of the facility? Barnaby suggested. I will just wander by around 8:30, just to ensure everything goes smoothly and safely. Good idea, Betty agreed. The address is 1132 South Motor Avenue. Inside the well-equipped fitness center, bright lights shone on modern exercise machines, polished wooden floors, and colorful mats. Alice Parks, dressed in sharp athletic wear, was moving through her routine with incredible energy and precision. Alice, why so early with the routine? Betty asked, catching her breath as she stretched on a nearby mat. I am famished after that delicious meal. It is so much healthier to exercise right after a balanced meal, Alice said enthusiastically, demonstrating a dynamic sequence of movements. You will feel absolutely marvelous once you get into the rhythm. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Alice executed a series of crisp, rhythmic steps, her breath steady and synchronized. 1, 2. Keep up the great energy. What? Betty laughed, wiping a bead of sweat from her forehead. Alice, I really cannot keep up with this level of intensity. I could really use a rest. Alice, you've got to be made entirely of rawhide and piano wire to maintain this pace. Well, I always try my best to keep remarkably flexible and active, Alice replied with a bright, cheerful grin. Come on, follow me into the next room. Here we are. We use this specialized room for personal self-defense training and basic agility exercises. It is really perfect for staying fit and confident. Listen, Alice, really I am completely exhausted, Betty confessed, leaning against the padded wall with a light laugh. And I am really hungry for some dessert. Couldn't we just go and enjoy a nice treat now? But I promise to show you a few fundamental self-defense holds. Alice insisted playfully. It will only take a few short minutes, I promise. It is a marvelous sport for building confidence and balance. Here, let me demonstrate a simple, gentle hip throw. With surprising speed and martial arts precision, Alice caught Betty by the arm and guided her through a swift defensive maneuver, depositing her gently onto the thick foam safety mat. Oh, you did not land quite correctly, dear, Alice observed with a professional eye, helping her back up with a friendly hand. One of the key things in physical training is learning how to fall safely without any discomfort. Alice, this is certainly a superb way of keeping fit, Betty admitted, brushing off her exercise outfit, but I really don't want to. Never try to reach out blindly, dear, Alice advised smoothly, executing another quick, fluid movement that demonstrated complete control over spatial balance, or you could easily be taken by surprise in a competitive situation.
Oh,
Betty exclaimed in mild surprise as Alice effortlessly held her wrist in a standard defensive hold. You know, Alice said softly, her voice taking on a slightly more serious, inquisitive tone while keeping her posture perfect, I was quite surprised to learn recently just how curious you were about my daily corporate schedule and my background. I accidentally caught my hand on the mat, Betty said quickly, keeping her composure and looking for a way to defuse the sudden tension. Of course, Alice replied, releasing the hold instantly and stepping back with a polite smile. One must always be very careful with this advanced kind of physical training. Somebody could accidentally get hurt or uncomfortable if they aren't paying proper attention. But tell me, Betty, why were your associates so exceptionally curious about my administrative files? What specific information do they think they're going to find that makes them so nosy? I genuinely do not know what you're talking about, Alice, Betty said calmly, maintaining a clear, honest expression. I am just a fellow legal secretary interested in doing a great job at the firm. Oh, come on, Betty, Alice said with a slight, knowing smile. Be entirely honest with me.
Ah.
Betty gasped as Alice playfully demonstrated another swift defensive hold, pinning her arms behind her back with absolute technical mastery. Careful, love, Alice cautioned gently. You might lose your balance on the slippery mat. If you keep pushing these awkward questions, people might start making wild assumptions about Bud McKenna's administrative notes, and we both know who actually gives the high-level executive orders in that company. Walker is merely an administrative messenger, nothing more. Well, I guess it is time to demonstrate a few of the more advanced techniques.
Ah.
Betty tried to maneuver away, realizing that Alice's athletic skill was far beyond that of an average office manager. Now, Betty, Alice said calmly, holding her firmly in place on the exercise mat, we haven't got all night to debate corporate policy. Suddenly, the door to the practice studio swung open, and Barnaby Jones stepped into the room, his calm, authoritative presence immediately filling the space. What is going on in here? Barnaby asked sharply, his keen eyes assessing the situation instantly. She was demonstrating advanced defense moves, Betty said, quickly standing up and adjusting her attire, but it felt a little too realistic. Oh, Betty, what a dramatic thing to say. Alice replied smoothly, relaxing her posture instantly and offering a delightful, warm smile. You are very lucky there were no outside witnesses here to prove you are exaggerating a simple physical demonstration. We were having such a wonderfully fun time, Mr. Jones. I would appreciate a little clearer explanation of what was happening in here, Barnaby said, stepping between them with a protective, fatherly stance. We were simply having an educational lesson in the fine art of personal self-defense, Alice explained with complete charm and composure. It is so remarkably useful for a woman of my age to stay strong and independent. I hope I wasn't being too enthusiastic with my demonstrations, dear. There we go, all safe and sound. A short while later, back at Barnaby's comfortable office, Betty sat at the main desk with a cup of warm chamomile tea, carefully reviewing a notebook filled with intricate shorthand symbols. It is written in her own personal style, Betty explained, pointing to the neatly organized lines on the page, but the whole system is based entirely on standard administrative shorthand. Then get right to translating it, Betty, Barnaby said with a warm, encouraging smile. I want to make sure we have all the facts completely clear so we can protect everyone involved. Every strategic action plan regarding Montana uranium was recorded in my private notes, Gordon, Alice Parks explained later that night as she met with Gordon McKenna in his private study. They were written down in full, clear detail. And now Jones and Cannon have managed to review those administrative records. That is certainly unfortunate, Gordon said, pacing slowly across the thick oriental rug. We will have to take appropriate legal and administrative steps to manage the situation. But no, not really, he added after a moment of reflection, looking at her reassuringly. Those were Bud's personal notes for Bud's specific departmental plans, and Bud is no longer with us. Alice, you cannot possibly be held personally responsible for taking dictation. You were simply his executive secretary doing your job efficiently. You merely took down notes as requested. Nevertheless, Alice said, looking down at her hands, it might be a very wise idea for me to take an extended international trip. Europe, perhaps? No, certainly not, Alice, Gordon replied warmly, stepping closer and placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Not shipped off. A wonderful, restful vacation. A fully paid sabbatical. Heaven knows you truly deserve it after years of dedicated service. Let us say $250,000 as an administrative severance package, along with a regular monthly stipend. But I want to remain with you, Gordon, Alice confessed softly, her eyes filled with deep, unwavering loyalty. I know things cannot be exactly the way they used to be between us, but the world is full of ordinary, uninspired people, and you are so much more than that. You have the vision to change energy history, and I want to be a part of that grand vision. I want to share in that future with you. Alice, I would be honored to have you with me, Gordon said smoothly, his tone rich with charming persuasion. We will travel to Europe first, and then perhaps explore Africa. You had better get your international passport ready along with all the necessary medical inoculations tomorrow morning. First thing tomorrow morning? Alice asked with a happy, bright smile. Gordon confirmed with a warm nod. I have always cared deeply about your success, Gordon, Alice said earnestly. My loyalty will never change. She genuinely means that, Gordon's chief of security, Mr. Corcoran, remarked dryly after Alice had left the room. Unfortunately, her overzealous nature in that gym showed she is becoming completely unpredictable and could pose a serious liability to our organizational reputation. Handle the situation. Alice? Gordon asked, turning toward his security director with a stern look. I do not mean anything harsh or extreme, Corcoran. Handle it gently and professionally. She deserves respect for her years of service. The next morning, under a bright and cheerful sky, a small delegation of corporate and military officials gathered at the newly renovated Montana uranium facility. General Todd Stanford stood near the podium, looking out over the pristine landscape with great satisfaction. "I want to thank you all for being here today," General Stanford said warmly, shaking hands with Laura Vanner. "This represents a remarkably big step forward, Miss Vanner. The very first clean uranium enrichment facility operated under civilian leadership. Montana Uranium is serving as a bright pilot project for the entire modern energy industry. I figured the least I could do was drop by and give your team a loud starting cheer." "Everything is completely ready, Laura," Roy reported enthusiastically from the control console. "Onward and upward for our company." Suddenly, a loud warning chime echoed through the cleanroom facility, accompanied by flashing yellow safety lights. "Hold it immediately," an engineer shouted over the intercom. "We have a sudden thermal fluctuation in Section 4. "Is that radioactive material leaking?" Laura asked, her heart pounding as she moved toward the monitoring screen. "I do not know," the technician replied quickly, tapping at the keyboard. "It appears to be a sudden automated system failure." "It was deliberate sabotage," Laura declared later that afternoon as she surveyed the minor damage with Frank Cannon and Barnaby Jones. "And yet I cannot legally prove it to the authorities." "Was anybody hurt or injured during the incident?" Frank asked with deep concern. "No, thank heaven," Laura said relievedly, shaking her head. "The automated safety systems worked perfectly and contained the entire event instantly. The accident only damaged a small, completely automated mechanical section. The only real loss was that equipment, and it is fully covered by our comprehensive insurance policy." "Do you believe International Redevelopment Incorporated caused the mechanical failure?" Barnaby asked thoughtfully. "I suspect so, but I cannot prove it officially," Laura admitted with a heavy sigh. "Officially, the regulatory agency views the equipment malfunction as an administrative fault on our end. And now, of course, the commercial banks and my corporate board of directors are going to be heavily pressured by outside investors to move me out of my leadership role and force us to accept International Redevelopment's buyout offer. They want me to sell my father's company. But I do not care about the corporate prestige, gentlemen. They were responsible for my father's tragic loss, and I want justice for his memory. What can I possibly do next?" "Well, we haven't been able to put every single piece of this complex puzzle together just yet," Frank said encouragingly, "but we do firmly believe that one of the crucial central figures in this whole affair is Senator Daniel Knox." Betty Jones walked into the office carrying a neatly transcribed report. "I have completely finished transcribing Alice's shorthand notes," she announced brightly. "Did you find anything useful?" Barnaby asked. "A lot more specific details on how they originally planned to acquire Montana uranium," Betty revealed, handing the pages to Frank. "You know, it really sounds like a coordinated military maneuver, including a detailed proposal to legally displace Mr. Vanner from his position." "I am so sorry," Laura said quietly, looking at the document. "I know now for certain that Dad was targeted, Betty. But what about Marty? Why does International Redevelopment Incorporated want Montana uranium so desperately? It is never clearly explained in these corporate memos. Is it because of the new clean enrichment process? I simply do not see how that alone justifies such extreme effort. It might add, perhaps $1.5 million to our annual corporate earnings, but a massive conglomerate like IRI generates that much revenue every 8 hours. What about potential military value?" Frank inquired. "After the uranium is enriched, it falls under strict government guard and is accounted for down to the exact gram." "I am sorry," Laura said, shaking her head in confusion. "It just does not make any logical sense at all. International Redevelopment Incorporated was prepared to do just about anything to gain control of Montana uranium," Barnaby observed sharply. "Now, there is only one individual in their entire international organization with the absolute power to orchestrate an operation of this magnitude, and that is the dynamic chairman of the board himself, Gordon McKenna. Do you think he was directly responsible for his own brother's situation?" Frank pondered. "Yeah, Corcoran probably arranged all the logistical details," Barnaby deduced. Don Corcoran, the vice president of public relations at IRI, holds an unusually corporate title for a retired Marine Corps colonel with a brilliant, highly decorated military record. McKenna buys only the absolute best talent available. Is there anything specific about Gordon McKenna in those shorthand notes, Betty? No, Barnaby, Betty replied, scanning the final page. Oh, wait a minute, yes. There is an executive meeting scheduled for the 18th. Mr. Gordon McKenna will chair the summit personally. The 18th? Frank noted, looking at his calendar. That is tomorrow. Betty confirmed. Where is it being held? Barnaby asked. There is just a single code name written here. Damocles, Betty reported. Is that Damocles as in the classic story of the Sword of Damocles? Frank wondered aloud. As in a looming threat? That could refer to a physical location, a specific person, or an encrypted security code, Barnaby analyzed thoughtfully. I wonder if Tom Lochner over at the Department of Justice would know anything about that specific code word. Barnaby stepped over to the landline telephone and picked up the receiver. Hello, operator, he said politely. I would like to place an urgent call to Mr. Tom Lochner at the United States Attorney's Office in Washington, District of Columbia. If Tom doesn't have an immediate answer for us, Frank remarked, we run right back into the same frustrating dead end. Now, we have got no choice, Barnaby stated firmly. We have got to do some direct, persuasive pushing on the one individual who actually took those confidential notes in the first place. Alice Parks. I know it might not fully stand up in a preliminary hearing, but if you swore out a formal legal complaint against her for the minor physical altercation at the gym, Betty, it might just give us enough legal leverage to ask her questions directly, right? It will be my absolute pleasure to sign that document, Betty said with a determined smile. Good. Betty, Barnaby said warmly. That is the spirit. Meanwhile, at a prestigious city hospital, Alice Parks sat in a comfortable examination room, resting quietly after her routine appointments. A friendly nurse stepped into the room with a tray. You're going to have 2 slightly sore arms after these standard international inoculations, Alice, the nurse said gently. Well, you had better hurry up with the paperwork, Sam, Alice replied with a bright, cheerful laugh, because I still have to get my official international passport renewed at the federal office before this afternoon. Outside the hospital floor, 2 private investigators approached the main administrative desk. One of the executive secretaries at the corporate office told me she had checked the schedule, Frank informed Barnaby. She is definitely here in the hospital's private wellness ward. Is there any official reason given for her stay? Barnaby asked. Dr. Holbertson has just completed examining Miss Parks, a senior administrator announced, stepping out of an office. Dr. Samuel Holbertson. I am afraid you cannot see Miss Parks at this time. The attending physician has left strict, explicit orders regarding her rest. Dr. Holbertson, Frank said, stepping forward politely. These gentlemen insist on speaking with her regarding an urgent legal matter. I have just conducted a thorough medical evaluation of Miss Parks, Dr. Holbertson said, his face grave and solemn. I am sorry, but that is simply impossible to restrict access, Barnaby insisted calmly. Then we will just have to secure an immediate court order from the presiding judge, Dr. Very well, Dr. Holbertson sighed, shaking his head with deep sorrow. It is an absolute tragedy. She suffered an extremely rare and violently toxic allergic reaction to a standard combination of international travel inoculations. The physiological effect appears to be permanent, resulting in severe cognitive impairment and brain damage. Poor Miss Parks. For all practical intent and purpose, she has been rendered completely non-communicative. Gentlemen, Frank Cannon said an hour later as he walked into a private conference room with Barnaby and Tom Lochner. Well, I managed to get a very valuable piece of the answer anyway, directly out of Senator Knox's central office in Washington. I called his primary administrative assistant and informed him that I needed to contact the senator on urgent committee business. Is Senator Knox personally attending McKenna's secret summit? Barnaby asked. Absolutely, Tom confirmed. He left Washington late yesterday evening. Only I could not find out the precise geographic location where the meeting is taking place. Have you even the slightest lead or clue? Frank inquired. Well, I strongly suspect it is being held somewhere on the open ocean, Tom revealed with a smile. His chief legislative assistant mentioned to me in passing that the senator had brought along a fresh prescription of seasickness medication. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Barnaby exclaimed, his eyes lighting up with realization. Look at the maritime registry documents in front of me. That executive vessel has got to be his private mega-yacht. It has to be officially registered under international maritime law. Come on, let us go verify the ship's registry immediately. Far out on the calm, sparkling waters of the Pacific Ocean, a magnificent luxury yacht glided effortlessly through the gentle blue waves. Sunlight danced across the clear water, creating a breathtaking scene of luxury and peace. On the upper deck, Gordon McKenna stood alongside his chief engineer, looking out over the endless horizon. Saul reports that the primary mine can be back in full, efficient operation inside of 2 weeks, Mr. McKenna, the engineer stated proudly. I kept the structural damage to an absolute minimum during the simulated malfunction. You did a remarkably clean, professional job, Dennis. Gordon praised him warmly. We should complete the full acquisition of Montana uranium by July at the very latest. You'll continue as our chief site engineer, and in 6 months, you will officially take over as the company president. Thank you very much, sir, Dennis replied with a respectful nod. Now, if you will kindly excuse us, Gordon said, turning toward a grand conference table set up on the shaded aft deck. A group of distinguished international figures sat comfortably around the table, enjoying refreshing beverages and the cool ocean breeze. Gentlemen, Gordon began, his voice rich, resonant, and welcoming. We have had a number of very productive preliminary meetings. We have all spoken at great length, and I think we now begin to fully understand how our vast international interests can fit together in perfect harmony. Remarkably interesting, one of the delegates noted, sipping his chilled tea. But first, to refresh everyone's memory, Gordon continued smoothly, introducing the distinguished guests around the circle. Yvonne Nielsen, representing International Commercial Shipbuilding, Hideki Ito, representing the prestigious Atsuri Industrial Group, Egon Kramer. Representing Europe Chase Shipping and Hamad's Commercial Bank, Premier Kamim Ali, Thompson Nickel Magnates, Monsieur Jean Estibians of Sulfur Chemicals, and Sheikh Habib Khoury. Sheikh Habib Khoury looked out over the ocean with a serene, dignified expression. I personally own nothing, and I control nothing, the Sheikh said softly, quoting an ancient traditional proverb with deep humility. Nay, verily, man is inclined toward excess only when he perceives himself possessed of endless earthly wealth. Habib Khoury, gentlemen, Gordon explained to the assembled group with immense respect, is a true leader of his people, a proud nation that sits atop vast golden sands which cover over 60 billion barrels of proven oil reserves. Together, gentlemen, the individuals sitting at this table own, control, and influence enough of the world's essential natural resources to positively guide global development for generations to come. Real, lasting economic strength. Certainly, Monsieur Estibians agreed politely, but I am already exceptionally powerful and successful in my own right. Why should any of us join together with others simply to acquire more? To do so much more good, Gordon responded passionately. Gentlemen, we represent the most capable, visionary leaders of international enterprise. We can enforce true economic stability across nations. We can literally create a brand new golden age of innovation and prosperity at a moment's notice. Gentlemen, together, we shape the future. An impressive vision, Sheikh Khoury acknowledged warmly. But there is one absolute necessity for global industry: reliable energy and fuel. For a fair and equitable price, Gordon agreed completely. Habib Khoury, I am fully prepared to pay that price and build a lasting partnership. You said that very same thing a year ago, McKenna, Khoury reminded him with a gentle, humorous smile. And again 6 months ago. Again and again, your persuasive words have floated past me like the gentle ocean wind. Yes, but the words are now fully backed by concrete action, Gordon declared proudly. International Redevelopment Incorporated is acquiring Montana uranium. The federal government has officially licensed the facility to produce clean, enriched nuclear materials. Habib Khoury, I can personally guarantee to provide your developing nation with enough enriched fuel within a single year to give your country complete, self-sustaining atomic energy capability. Full technological capability? Khoury asked, leaning forward with genuine interest. Exactly, Gordon confirmed with a smile. Creating a wonderful new balance of energy independence and peaceful strength in the Middle East, and indeed across the entire world, for all of us. Not quite yet, Khoury cautioned gently, holding up a hand. I have heard rumors about minor corporate rivalries and administrative troubles back on the mainland. I have heard many grand promises before. As a wise manager of my people's future, I must have concrete, undeniable proof before signing such a historic accord. You shall have it this very moment, Gordon announced, turning toward the ship's luxurious salon. Gentlemen, I believe you all know United States Senator Daniel Knox. Senator Knox stepped out onto the sunlit deck, smiling warmly and shaking hands with the delegates. Gentlemen, I have personally guided the necessary legislative framework through Congress. Montana Uranium will be placed in official charge of a major government-backed enriched energy facility. With your nation's top regulatory agencies overseeing the safety protocols, Khoury noted with approval. Exactly, Senator Knox confirmed smoothly. And gentlemen, Gordon added with great pride, I would like you all to meet General Todd Stanford. I have just returned from a thorough inspection of Montana Uranium's primary facilities. General Stanford reported briskly and cheerfully. The entire site will be in full production inside of a month, and we will be able to deliver on our international energy sharing agreements within 3 months. I agree completely, Gordon said, turning to his assistant. Mr. Corcoran, would you kindly advise the ship's captain that we are fully ready to return to the harbor? McKenna's secret project name for this entire summit was Damocles, Frank Cannon explained a few hours later as he, Barnaby Jones, and Tom Lochner met with federal prosecutor Calvelli in his spacious office. High-speed maritime transportation is bringing the delegates back to the mainland right now. And here they come, Barnaby said, pointing to a surveillance photo showing the luxury yacht docking at the private marina. Sheikh Habib Khoury represents a nation with anywhere between 50 and 100 billion barrels of oil reserves. Are you suggesting that McKenna is attempting to create an unprecedented international energy cartel through IRI? Calvelli asked, reviewing the detailed dossier with deep concentration. That is precisely correct, Mr. Calvelli, Frank affirmed. The secret summit was held on his private vessel immediately after his company moved to acquire Montana Uranium. I see the scope of your investigation, Calvelli said thoughtfully, but at this precise moment, you do not have definitive legal proof of an illegal conspiracy or an antitrust violation. Yeah, but what does all this extraordinary evidence add up to in your opinion? Tom Lochner asked. A simple pleasant gathering? A music festival? Attended by a prominent United States senator and a high-ranking military official? Well, that is a tremendous political challenge, Calvelli admitted, leaning back in his leather chair. Do you expect me to launch the Antitrust Division of the Justice Department directly against the United States Senate and the Pentagon based on preliminary surveillance? Why don't you start by investigating International Redevelopment Incorporated directly? Barnaby suggested calmly. If you bring Gordon McKenna's corporate misconduct to light, the entire unethical arrangement will fall apart naturally. Simply for meeting with a group of exceptionally powerful international business leaders? Calvelli questioned gently. There is nothing inherently illegal about executives holding a private discussion on a boat. We do not currently have evidence of a formal, binding agreement or an illegal trade cartel. Habib Khoury does not need to form an alliance with anyone. His country already possesses immense wealth. Look, Frank pointed out, McKenna has to be offering him something extraordinarily unique that money alone cannot buy. What does a leader like Khoury truly want? Not mere personal wealth. He has vast resources. Luxury? No. The man lives a remarkably modest aesthetic lifestyle. True energy independence and technological self-reliance for his people. The power to modernize his entire region peacefully. Clean nuclear technology capability, Barnaby added quietly. Mr. Calvelli, Those specialized materials are heavily protected and regulated by federal law. Yes, and overseen directly by regulatory authorities, Laura Vanner realized softly, standing near the window. Dear God, that is why they wanted my father's independent company so desperately. And why they attempted to sabotage your processing plant to force a corporate sale, Frank added. While that plant was actively operating under a legitimate United States government research contract, I might add. You know something? Calvelli said, looking at the team with deep respect and admiration. You are all remarkably brave and principled individuals. But Gordon McKenna is a true corporate heavyweight. Senator Knox has immense political influence. The statistical odds are that any preliminary investigation could get tied up in administrative delays for months, no matter what I do. So you're saying you're not going to take any action at all, Mr. Calvelli? Barnaby asked quietly, his eyes searching the prosecutor's face. Did I say that, Mr. Jones? Calvelli asked, a warm, bright smile suddenly breaking across his face. Did I say any such thing? You know, my elderly father runs one of the finest, most beautiful apple orchards in Conaweema County. If my public career ever ended, I could always go back to helping him pick apples in the fresh autumn air. It just so happens that I am a dedicated government bureaucrat. It is certainly no job for a man who wants an easy life, right? Except it happens that I am serving in this position because I care deeply about this great country and its founding principles of justice. So do we, Mr. Calvelli, Barnaby said warmly, his heart lifted by the prosecutor's noble spirit. I am going to officially open a full-throttle, comprehensive federal investigation into International Redevelopment Incorporated, Calvelli declared firmly, including a thorough review of the 3 mysterious incidents you uncovered. Thank you very much, Mr. Calvelli, Frank said, shaking his hand warmly. More than that, I want your continued active assistance, Calvelli added, turning to Laura Vanner. Now, Miss Vanner, you know your processing plant inside and out. I want you to fly back up to Montana immediately. I will personally contact the chief agent at the local FBI field office to assist you. I want you to help us gather definitive technical proof of that equipment sabotage. A short time later, inside a high-rise executive suite, Senator Daniel Knox sat nervously across from Gordon McKenna. Federal Prosecutor Calvelli is a remarkably determined man, Daniel warned, his voice tight with anxiety. Oh, he can be exceptionally formidable once he starts a crusade for justice. Are you absolutely positive our position is secure? We have a very influential friend in the Department of Justice, Gordon replied smoothly, pouring 2 cups of fresh coffee. Calvelli recently met with Cannon, Jones, and your former staff investigator, Tom Lochner, and they're attempting to build an administrative case against us. Oh no, Gordon, Senator Knox said, shaking his head rapidly. I cannot possibly squash a formal Justice Department inquiry. I would be completely ruined politically. You will simply have to take that political risk, Daniel, Gordon said, his tone cooling slightly as he looked at the politician. I have numerous political rivals looking for any mistake, Daniel pleaded. You hold a very prestigious position, Gordon reminded him softly, pulling a thin folder from his desk drawer. Do you really want to risk your entire public career and your family's social standing against these compromising photographs from your past political campaigns? Daniel looked at the photographs and let out a long, defeated sigh. All right, Gordon, he whispered. I will do my absolute best to derail the investigation. I will try. Then you will succeed, Gordon said, his warm smile returning instantly. I trust your political skills, Daniel. What about those persistent private investigators, Barnaby Jones and Frank Cannon? Daniel asked nervously. I want their investigative efforts terminated permanently, Gordon commanded coldly, turning to Mr. Corcoran. That will raise a massive public stink, Mr. McKenna, Corcoran cautioned firmly. I want them completely out of our way, Gordon insisted. High above the rugged Montana mountains, a small helicopter hovered over a dense pine forest. Inside the cabin, Frank Cannon checked his safety harness as Barnaby looked down at the landscape. A parachute, Frank remarked with a light laugh, examining the emergency equipment strapped to the wall. Yes, it certainly is. Isn't there an old joke about keeping one handy? I wouldn't jump out of an aircraft without ensuring that safety snap hook is properly secured. Barnaby replied with a hearty chuckle. Down on a remote mountain trail, a local rancher watched as the helicopter made an unexpected, gentle landing in a wide clearing. The pilot stepped out, looking around nervously. "Did you let the aircraft land safely in the meadow?" Corcoran asked through a two-way radio set as he stood near a sleek black sedan parked on a quiet country road. "Yes," the pilot reported into his radio. "I was supposed to get in touch with you as soon as I could safely reach a telephone." "Where is Mr. McKenna right now?" "Well, he is currently at his private mountain ranch," Corcoran replied. "That is all you need to know. Jones and Cannon left the main mining site late this morning. Your attempt to disrupt their travel completely failed, pilot. You are now facing serious legal consequences for attempting to tamper with their aircraft. It is entirely possible the pilot talked to the federal authorities," Senator Knox said nervously as he stood near Gordon at the ranch house. "He might have told them he was hired by IRI." "Oh, no," Gordon said calmly, watching the road through a pair of binoculars. "I am assuming that Jones and Cannon are driving directly here to present their findings." "Good. A pilot can always clarify or change his official statement afterwards." "After what?" Daniel asked, his voice trembling slightly. "After Mr. Corcoran handles the situation directly," Gordon stated coldly. On a winding mountain road overlooking a picturesque valley, Frank Cannon drove his sturdy sedan along the sharp turns. The afternoon sun cast long, beautiful shadows across the timberland. "Ready?" Frank said calmly, eyeing the rearview mirror as a heavy vehicle approached rapidly from behind.
"Pull hard on your seatbelt, Barnaby."
"You know, that is a remarkably curious thing that Prosecutor Calvelli said earlier," Barnaby noted comfortably, holding onto the handrail. "He thinks he could legally break up IRI's corporate monopoly, but he doesn't think he can personally hold McKenna accountable for these strategic decisions. Unlawful conspiracy, attempted intimidation, corporate misconduct. Except all the direct evidence points strictly to Corcoran. McKenna continues to remain comfortably in the legal shadows." "I will go around this next curve," Frank planned smoothly, looking for a wide gravel turnoff up ahead. "I will safely steer the car into a controlled skid onto the soft shoulder. You roll out onto the grassy bank, and I will draw their attention away, okay?" With expert driving skill, Frank maneuvered the vehicle safely onto the wide shoulder, coming to a smooth, controlled stop right beside a scenic overlook, completely neutralizing the trailing vehicle's aggressive posture. A short time later, inside the luxurious study of the McKenna Mountain Ranch, Gordon McKenna stood near a large map of the United States, presenting a grand civic initiative to Senator Knox. "We will test our fresh public education campaign first in several mid-sized, highly respected cities," Gordon explained enthusiasm, showing the proposal. "Cincinnati, Omaha, St. Louis. Right in the very heartland of America." "That sounds like a wonderful approach," Daniel agreed, relaxing slightly. "If we can genuinely inspire public opinion and show the tremendous benefits of peaceful, clean energy, maybe it will help me guide the energy legislation through Congress with overwhelming support." "Daniel," Gordon corrected him with a gentle, confident laugh, "we do not simply follow public opinion. We help create it through education and truth." "No, it really is that easy," Daniel admitted with a warm smile. "It will be," Gordon assured him. "It most certainly will be." Suddenly, the heavy double doors of the study opened, and Barnaby Jones walked calmly into the room, accompanied by Frank Cannon and federal prosecutor Calvelli. "Mr. McKenna?" Barnaby called out softly, his tone cool, steady, and completely composed. "Your security director, Mr. Corcoran, has been fully apprehended by federal marshals," Frank announced clearly. "He has just provided a complete, voluntary written statement to Prosecutor Calvelli that places the full responsibility for these corporate conspiracies directly on your desk. Have you gentlemen experienced some sort of misunderstanding?" Gordon asked, maintaining a perfectly calm, polite smile as he adjusted his lapel. "Mr. Jones, Barnaby Jones, yes, of course. I have certainly heard of your fine reputation as a private investigator. Are you attempting to connect me with the unfortunate events surrounding Doris Grady? Or Matthew Vanner? Or my late brother? That is a remarkably cheap and groundless innuendo, Mr. Jones." You may have encountered administrative obstacles, yes, but that offers no valid excuse for making wild accusations against a respected public enterprise. Slander, McKenna? Frank Cannon asked, stepping forward with a firm, solid presence. We have Mr. Corcoran's signed testimony stating explicitly that you personally authorized those aggressive corporate actions to force the takeover of Montana Uranium. His legal standing is completely gone, Senator Knox. You still have time to cooperate fully as an official government witness before you find yourself completely ruined alongside him. Are you seriously suggesting that Mr. Corcoran committed these independent acts? Gordon asked, turning toward Senator Knox with an expression of profound shock and disappointment. Frankly, I find that exceptionally difficult to believe. But even the mere possibility that a trusted employee abused his authority is deeply chilling to me. Yes, I gave Mr. Corcoran considerable administrative authority within our public relations division. He possessed my full personal trust. But you are asking me to believe that he utterly betrayed that sacred trust and committed these irresponsible acts on behalf of IRI? Are you asserting that he acted entirely on his own initiative? All I am saying, of course, is that I knew absolutely nothing whatsoever about any of these improper actions. I had absolutely no personal responsibility for his choices. And if he had anything at all to do with the tragic loss of my dear brother, the official reports of my demise were greatly exaggerated, Mr. McKenna. A booming, confident voice called out from the doorway. Bud McKenna walked into the room, accompanied by 2 federal agents. He looked healthy, rested, and completely composed. And you were remarkably quick to lay all the corporate blame directly on my shoulders, Gordon. Prosecutor Calvelli stepped forward, holding a thick briefcase filled with legal documentation. Between my department's comprehensive investigation, the helicopter pilot's detailed confession, Mr. Corcoran's signed statement, and your brother's direct testimony, I think your corporate reign is officially at an end, Mr. McKenna. No, I don't think so, Gordon replied smoothly, taking a slow step back toward the large open French doors that led to the upper stone balcony. I don't think so at all. I am an immensely wealthy man. International Redevelopment Incorporated possesses virtually infinite financial resources. Our legal defense budget is perhaps significantly larger than the entire operational budget of the Justice Department. Oh, I may be formally indicted by a grand jury, yes. There may be a lengthy, highly publicized trial. And it will drag on through the court systems for years and years and years. But in the end, with our endless appeals, I will be completely vindicated and free. And what will I be, Mr. McKenna? Corcoran asked as he was escorted into the room by federal marshals, looking at his former employer with deep disillusionment. I hope, Mr. Corcoran, Gordon said smoothly, that you will be sensible and remain completely silent. Just hang tough through the preliminary hearings. And I will continue to stand tall for progress, for prosperity, and for International Redevelopment Incorporated. I think I desperately needed a noble cause to serve, Mr. McKenna, Corcoran said softly, shaking his head with profound regret. Something truly worthy to believe in. But your brand new future world. It is nothing more than your own bloated ego enlarged on a global scale. There is no room for real people in your vision, and absolutely no reason why I or anyone else should ever trust your promises again. I am deserting your cause, Mr. McKenna. Do not throw away your intelligence, Corcoran. Gordon pleaded, his composure finally beginning to crack as he stepped out onto the narrow stone balcony ledge. We share a common interest in protecting our future. No, Mr. McKenna, Corcoran replied firmly, turning his back on him. I am no longer interested in your grand illusions. I guess that just about wraps up this entire complex case, Frank Cannon observed quietly, looking at Barnaby. Yeah, Barnaby agreed softly. What else can you truly expect from a man who bought into the illusion of absolute power? A man whose loyalty knew no ethical boundaries except his own selfish interests. Don't do anything foolish, McKenna, Frank warned, stepping toward the balcony doors as Gordon looked down at the steep mountain slope below. That is absolute madness. Gordon, don't be stupid, Senator Knox yelled, reaching out a hand. McKenna, Barnaby called out. Gordon McKenna looked back at the assembled investigators, prosecutor, and his former allies with a bitter, desperate expression. I had a grand vision for a world that you simple, ordinary people wanted to settle for with small, comfortable lives. You expect a man like me to spend the rest of my life facing suspended sentences and courtroom battles? Never. He turned and made a desperate leap toward the lower canopy below, attempting to escape into the dense forest. He will never make it down that steep cliff face safely, Frank noted with a heavy sigh, looking over the railing as federal agents rushed down the outer staircase to secure the perimeter. We could have worked this entire situation out through proper legal channels, Colvelli said, shaking his head at the tragic waste of talent and ambition. A short time later, as the golden rays of the setting sun painted the mountain peaks in brilliant shades of amber, orange, and purple, the team gathered outside near their vehicles. The air was fresh, cool, and peaceful, signaling the return of balance and justice to the quiet valley. A simple word, Tom, Barnaby said warmly, shaking Tom Lochner's hand, is thanks. From me, too, Frank added with a bright, genuine smile. Thank you for your exceptional dedication to the truth, Tom. Well, Tom replied with a light, happy laugh. I don't know a word big enough to express how grateful I am to work with such wonderful friends. But how about we celebrate the successful conclusion of this long journey over a delicious dinner? All of us together. Well, Tom Lochner and I are still tied up with Prosecutor Colvelli finalizing these federal reports, Laura Vanner explained with a cheerful smile. Why don't you two distinguished investigators go ahead and enjoy a wonderful meal first? Hey, that is a fantastic idea. Frank agreed enthusiastically. How about it, Barnaby? I would absolutely love to. Barnaby responded with a warm twinkle in his eye.
Bye.
Laura waved as she stepped into the administrative building with Tom and Colvelli. Bye-bye. Now, as to our dinner plans, Barnaby, Frank said with great enthusiasm as they walked toward their car, I have recently discovered a delightful new restaurant that I am absolutely sure you are going to love. It is called Cornelia's Country Cooking, and they fry everything from fresh hominy grits to crispy coleslaw. It is precisely your kind of wonderful, traditional place, my old friend. Barnaby burst into a hearty, joyous laugh that echoed warmly across the quiet mountain parking lot. Well, Frank, you know I certainly love good, honest country cooking, but not exclusively. As a matter of fact, I was just about to enthusiastically recommend Pomerol, a sophisticated establishment with a brilliant European chef and a truly wonderful, world-class vintage cellar. Oh, well, Frank laughed warmly, placing a friendly arm around Barnaby's shoulder as they unlocked the car doors. In that case, my good friend, let us go enjoy the finest dinner in town.